Hello everybody, long time no see. I'm glad to see y'all again. It's great to be back. It's been weird not streaming for like a week, but unfortunately I have returned, so but yeah, welcome everyone to essentially what is my 1-year anniversary stream. I wish I could have streamed on the actual day, but unfortunately that landed right in the middle of my break, so I couldn't really do much about that. But yeah, but that's just what happens. That's just what seems to happen in my life. So, you know, we can always plan for afterwards. We can always celebrate whenever, but I would prefer to, you know, celebrate closer to the day. Hello, welcome. Thank you so much. Thank you. I appreciate the warm welcome back. Aw, you guys are so sweet. Yay. So today, yes, as you can see on the screen right now, if you recognize this background, you've been here for a while. I haven't used this background in literally months, at least half a year. It's been almost half a year, I think, maybe, since I've used this background. So if you recognize it, you've been here for a while. Or you just recently watched one of my really old videos, or maybe this one, because today we're gonna be rewatching my technically first video on this channel. I know it's not actually the first video on this channel, but it's essentially, you know, my first video as Stories of Stars, and not the radio show animatic that I just wanted to post. Like, I eventually wasn't gonna post this on this channel, but I was like, sure, why not? I made it, I put it on Twitter. So, but this was my first video that was meant for this channel. So yeah. Also, wait, hold on. Is the volume okay? I realized I realized that the background music might be a little loud. I can't tell. But yeah, again, just let me know if, if the volume's a little bit too loud. I can turn it down a little bit. Actually, I might just turn down just a wee bit, just in case. Because I feel like I'm shouting. So, yeah. Let's sink in for more sentimental value. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Oh my gosh, I can't believe it's been a year. It's been a year. Yeah, that's what I thought. BGM was a bit okay, yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna turn on just a little bit more. So yeah, again, let me know how everything is. I'm a little bit rusty. This is what happens when you don't stream for a week. You forget literally every setting on OBS, and in general. It's good now. Yay! Thank goodness. And chat's working too. I'm so glad. Knock on wood, everything turns out all right. But yeah, we're gonna be rewatching this old freaking video essay of mine. And I'm gonna talk about it, and I'm gonna cringe a little bit, and it'll be great. Probably. I don't know how long this is gonna go on for, because the video is only 50 minutes, but I don't know how long I'm gonna ramble on for, so it's gonna be anywhere from about maybe like an hour to maybe 2 hours. I'm hoping it doesn't go that long. No, I don't want to go on for 2 hours about this video. So I'll aim for about an hour on this. So okay, I see. Yeah, back in those early days, I didn't stream at all. I only started streaming in September. Back from like March to August, I just made like video content about double A side, rest in peace. So a lot of that is pretty irrelevant. This is like the only video from back then that has some relevance to like the present day, even though like a lot's changed with the project. It still has a lot of like good information about like, you know, the build up from when it first started to like, you know, present day, and or when it was present day last year and stuff. And eventually I'll do something updating this thing and stuff. I don't know exactly what I'm gonna do. Maybe I'm not gonna promise anything, but I was thinking it'd be kind of cool if I got something up around either the 4th anniversary. Is it the 4th anniversary? I can't remember time. But yeah, like the anniversary coming up in May, or maybe whenever like the game comes out, or like game news starts to come out or whatever, or maybe like a new movie comes out or something that's like, you know, new, like big news about Argo Novice, and people are like, oh, what is this thing that I don't know about? I'll be like, well, let me tell you. So so it'll be somewhere around there. I'm not really sure. I don't have any concrete plans in place right now, but it will happen eventually, I think. So so yeah, just be on the lookout for that. Be patient, and hopefully I will follow through on this. Yeah. Anyways, how long have I been stalling for? I've been stalling for 9 minutes. Oh god, I just don't want to watch this again. Oh, I cringe a little bit, because when I rewatched it a little bit, like after I uploaded, I noticed that there were like so many mistakes. I was like, oh no, I thought I proofread over this like a bazillion times, and I had, but apparently there were a few things that just slipped through the cracks, and I'm just like, oh god, oh, I wish I could change this. So, but anyways, for like a self-produced project by myself on perhaps maybe the worst laptop I've ever owned in my life, which isn't saying much because I've only ever owned 2 laptops, and that one was the worst. It was a feat in itself, and I was so glad to have finally finished it when I did. So finishing it in itself, I'm very proud of. Some of the details that were wrong, I wish I could tweak, but you know, you pick and choose your battles, so I'm not gonna, you know, I'm not gonna mull over it too much. Well, yeah. So, hello, welcome! Thank you so much for joining! Yay! I've been stalling for the last 10 minutes because I don't want to watch this. I'm like, why did I decide to watch this? Alright, so, I guess enough stalling for me. Let me just double check. Okay. No one said anything, but I had to check just in case. My reverb is off. Thank goodness I didn't mess with any of the settings. It has been turned off since I opened OBS. I was just thinking, because like every time I go into the stream thinking like, oh, everything's fine, my reverb's on, and there's never been one moment where I'm like, oh, it's probably not on, it's fine, and then it's actually turned on. I'm ghost stories from the past haunting the future. It's like I gotta check just to make sure. Oh man. Aw, thank you. I appreciate that. Those videos I did put, like, they were pretty short and, like, you know, non-committal, but like I did put a lot of work and effort into that, especially with the minimal what was it, tools I had available to my disposal with iMovie. I'm a dirty Mac user. I apologize for that. So I didn't have, like, you know, any fancy computer programs to work with and stuff, so I had to get a little creative with editing and such, which in the end most of the time didn't really turn out that creative at all, but you know, I just worked with what I had, and you know what, it did the job, it did what it was supposed to, so you know, yeah, so anyways, actually, you know what? No, so I was saying earlier that I haven't used this this background in at least half a year, but that's not true. I used it back in November when I did the update video about Argo leaving Bang Dream. So it's been about 4 months, 4 months-ish. I'll say about 4 months. About 4 months, not quite like half a year, but it's been a hot minute since I've used this background. So it's very nostalgic. It's very like OG stories when it comes to, you know, reviving memories within me. So, all right, I'm the Star Queen of Argonautas. I mean, I like the sound of that, so I don't hate that. Oh jeez. Okay. I'm gonna stop stalling on this. I'm gonna stop stalling. We're gonna watch this, and I'm gonna die a little inside. I guess, hold on. I guess I have to, you know, test the volumes a little bit. So let's play this. Oh, this got touched. Oh, it's not even on. There we go. All right. I know this part's supposed to be a little quiet, so I guess when it gets to the talking part, just let me know if it's a little too loud or too quiet or whatever. You can also open on your own browser and watch it yourself too on your yeah. Oh, wait. Oh, okay, so this whole like disclaimer thing, I was so worried that that this video, it used like, you know, so much like content that I definitely do not own. So I was like, okay, I need to put some really long disclaimer at the beginning because I don't want this to get taken down after all the hard work I put into it. Please, I beg. This is just made by one fan who is just trying her best to spread the word of this band boy project. Please don't take down my video or sue me or whatever. So I was like researching. I'm like, how do you write a disclaimer for this kind of video? Obviously they don't have articles about this or like, you know, specific citations on how to do this and stuff, so at least for this kind of video, so I had to like, you know, look for similar videos like this and see like what they did, and I just kind of put my own spin onto it and be like, okay, this is what I did, blah blah blah, da, 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 da. Okay, we're good. So and you know what, to this day, not a single claim on this video. I guess there was enough what is it called, I don't know what it's called. Whatever I did, I changed it enough and made the music quiet enough for it to be, you know, fair use. Is that what it's called? I don't know. But whatever I did seemed to work. So I'm not gonna question it. I know that's still work because it's still up. Hallelujah! And also this part here, please forgive my pronunciation of literally everything. I tried my best. I really did try my best. It was hard because okay, for some reason, some words like Ren, sometimes I say Ren and other times I say Nen. I don't know why I do this, and it's interchangeably too. Like I could be saying like the same paragraph and I could say Ren and Nen in the same paragraph, and I listen back and I'm like, wait, what, huh? Like, why did I say it like that? And then I have to go back and redo it and be like, consciously, okay, am I saying it Ren or Den? But then sometimes I say it like, you know, Ren, but then I pronounce other names with like Japanese intonations, like Wataru, because Wataru sounds weird to me, but Rio's okay. Yuto, Banri kind of hit or miss sometimes. Sometimes I'm like Banri, and sometimes I'm like Banri. So I don't know. It's really weird. I don't know why I do this. So it was half the battle of recording this was just the conscious effort of me trying to be like, okay, how am I pronouncing these words? Am I pronouncing them with like a North Americanized accent, or am I doing it somewhat in a Japanese intonation? Pronunciation, but also not sounding completely Japanese, because I'm not fluent in Japanese, so I wouldn't even if I tried. So it's like, what am I doing? Anyways. And also this side note about all Japanese names from here on out are said last name, first name. Then I realized when I read the what was it, the my anime list description for the anime, it said Ren Nanahoshi, and I didn't change that because that's just how it was. So I was like, okay, it's fine, whatever. It's just literally the one first name last name out of all the last name first names. I'm not gonna like make a specific thing like except for this part. I'm just gonna leave it as is, because that's too much effort to put in just for one tiny little detail. So anyways, let's keep going.
Whether you know it as Bang Dream, Bandori, Girls Band Party, or Garupa, you'll know that this franchise filled with its cute cast of characters, array of original songs and covers, dozens of live performances, and heartfelt stories has won over hundreds of thousands of fans since it first began.
Okay, the effort it took to get all of this footage was immense. I was like, you know, recording, like screen recording on my phone, and then exporting it to like my Google Drive, and then downloading it onto my laptop, and then like, you know, trying to like fit it in iMovie. It was like a whole like 4D chess thing going on. It was not easy. I did not make it easy for myself. So and like trying to like crop the video so like all the black parts from like the side of my phone were gone, and I guess I didn't crop them all properly because they look slightly different, so I had to be like, okay, I had to make sure that like there's not really a setting in iMovie to make all of the videos like the same exact size, so I had to just be like, okay, what is this first video, like what's the size of that one? Okay, then like go by like a next frame over to the next video, and then like try to like, you know, expand it so it's the same size as like the last video, and then I do that for all the subsequent videos after that. And usually these would only be about like, you know, like 3 seconds max, but I was so meticulous about them being like the same size because I didn't want to look back and be like, wait, that one's too small, that one's too big. No, I can't deal with this. So I spent a good chunk of time just resizing these small clips that you probably don't even remember or notice the sizing of, but it was just such an important detail to me. I had to put effort in it to make them the same size, or at least as best I could. So I don't know why I did that. Also, would you believe that this the way the microphone that I use to record this audio is the exact same microphone I'm using right now? It sounds so different. Because like back then I had, you know, like my initial XLR cable that actually wasn't meant for microphones, so it made it sound really weird. I also put some kind of weird reverb and mixing on my voice here, so I don't know why I did that. I'm just listening back and I'm thinking, oh gosh, mistakes were made. I mean, it doesn't sound bad, but I could have done without it, if I'm being honest. So, but also this was like, I don't want to say how many times I've recorded this audio, not just because I can't remember, but because even if I did remember, I wouldn't want to admit it, because I re-recorded this audio far too many times for my liking. There were times where I thought, okay, this is the audio, and then I go back the next day, I'm like, no, this sucks, I need to redo all of this. So I re-recorded 50 minutes of audio multiple times. So it was a struggle. It was a whole goddamn struggle, I tell you. Yeah, same mic, I know, right? It's amazing what an XLR cable and, you know, several filters on OBS can do for sound. Audio is like magic. I don't know how it works.
But what if I told you there was another side to the franchise?
Another side of Bang Dream. I'm so proud of that line. I was just like, oh yeah, let's go. This is like the best thing I've ever written. Also, this image specifically, so like as you could see, like it's kind of like it has like, you know, like the images of like each guy or whatever, but initially the image was like it was I don't know, you probably, maybe some people have seen it, like at least if you were like back in the fandom in like, you know, 2018 2019 or whatever, but there was like this image of like just before all the characters were like revealed fully, but it had like a blue background on it. So there's some setting in iMovie where you can like it's like a blue screen green screen sort of thing, so it takes out the blue color. So I just did that by accident, but I liked the effect of it, so I was like, I'm keeping that in. So I didn't do any fancy Photoshop work or anything. It was all iMovie. Most of this was iMovie, so yay, thank you, iMovie. Yeah, I thought it was so smooth with that line. Another side of Bang Dream. And now it's like not even another side of Bang Dream, it's like sayonara Bang Dream.
Hello everyone, I'm Stories of Stars, and today I'm very excited to talk to you all
Okay, sorry, I'm sorry to pause the video again, but that is the only time I've ever introduced myself as Stories of Stars. After that, I never did it again. I was like, I'm Stories, how's it going? This is what I get for naming myself 3 words smashed into one. Like, I don't know why I named myself this. Oh my gosh, mistakes were made, my dudes. I just... So, like, I've contemplated being like, okay, do I just get rid of like the Stories of Stars and just like name my channel Stories? I'm like, no, Stories of Stars is iconic. Even if I never call myself that, it's me. It's Stories of Stars. How's it going, y'all? I don't have a last name. What's a last name? So, anyways,
something very near and dear to my heart. Something that I think deserves all the love and support in the world. The Argo Novice Project!
The Argo Novice Project!
With the anime having aired in 2020 spring season and the mobile game having released in January of this year...
I can't believe that was a year ago! How has it been a year? This feels wrong! This feels wrong. Having just aired in the 2020 spring season. That was 2 years ago! The anime was aired almost 2 years ago! Oh my gosh! When are we getting season 2? When are we getting a new movie? Please. Argo Pro, answer my text! Please! Respond!
I figured there'd be no better time to talk about the project than now.
Okay, so about this part. So initially, I wanted to get out the video multiple times during 2020. So initially, I wanted to get this video out by the time the anime aired. However, I was a little, I guess, what would you call it? Disappointed, let down. I don't know how to describe it, but like when I found out that the anime wasn't actually being like aired local, like internationally, it was just being aired in like Southeast Asia on like a single YouTube channel, I was kind of like discouraged. That's the word. I was very discouraged, and I ended up being like, okay, so it would be kind of hard to get people interested in something that, you know, is not widely available. So I was like, okay, I'll wait for the game to come out maybe, or like for more game news to come out, and then like, you know, build the hype for like the game coming out. So then I was like, okay, so not April 2020, but maybe like later on 2020. And then like I was there was like a time where I was like just being like really hard on myself, and I was just feeling really horrible about like a lot of things, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna get this video out in August, because like, you know, I was like, I need to like, you know, get this video done. I need to like, you know, prove to myself like I can actually do this thing and whatever. And I was just like, you know, being so hard on myself that like when it got to finally being August, I could not physically work on the video. I just felt so awful that I was like, okay, I can't do this. I said I was gonna do this in August, and I can't. I physically cannot. So then I thought, okay, I'm gonna try to get this out for my birthday 2020. I thought that'd be fun. That'd be great. You know, yeah, it's not only an important date to me, it's also an important date for the Argonavis project. That's when Hashimoto Shohei was announced, and all 5 characters from Argonavis were revealed and stuff, and blah, blah, blah. That also didn't happen. I was like, this is not happening. I am nowhere near getting this done. And then it took me another 3 months to get this video out. So I was like, okay, when's another date that I can get this video out? And then I was like, okay, what important dates are there? So there's like, I don't know, there's nothing that really stands out in January. February, maybe like Gold Line's anniversary, but then I was like, no, I'm not gonna do Gold Line's anniversary. And then I thought, okay, wait, when did I get Argonavis' first single? When did I like fall into Argonavis fandom? When did I like when did they really just, you know, grabbed me by the shoulders, shook me until everything left my brain. I was like, hey, we're making room in there. You better let us in. Which was March 7th, 2019. So I call that, I refer to that as my faniversary, so to speak. So I was like, okay, that seems doable. I'm gonna get this video out for March 7th. And lo and behold, I finally did. So, it's like, I can't believe this video is actually real and out there on the internet. People are watching it and saying, wow, this is good. I was like, I never thought this video would leave my head. And then like a year and a few months later, it finally did. And I was like, is this real? Is this reality? So, even now, I still can't believe this video is real.
Over the time I've been following the project, I've come to meet fans old and new, and of all kinds of personalities and wacky sorts of people. And
that's all you guys
have become good friends of mine.
You're all the wacky sorts of people.
I myself have been a longtime fan of the project, but I can't say I've always been a fan. Honestly, when I first heard the Bang Dream project was introducing guys, I didn't think much of it and kind of forgot about it. That is until I found Argonavis in December.
About that part, I wasn't always a fan because, like, I think I've mentioned this a few times before, but initially, like, basically what happened was, so Argonavis was introduced as, like, you know, a new project in, oh, sorry, my nose is, like, being weird. Hold on, I'm gonna blow my nose for a sec. BRB. Alright, I'm back. Apologies for that. So yeah, Argonavis was initially introduced as a project, as a new project from Bang Dream in May of 2018. When I first heard about it, I didn't have the name of the project. All I heard basically was, why are they introducing guys to Bang Dream? They can't be adding guys to Girls Band Party. And I was just sitting there thinking, what? Sorry, what? I was like, okay, I don't care about this. I'm not gonna get into the whatever's going on. I'm just gonna forget about this, ignore this. I'm just gonna go on with whatever I was into at the time. I think it was Haikyuu at that point. So I was just like, I'm just gonna enjoy my volleyball boys and just ignore literally everything that's happening over here because like I could not care less. So that kind of continued on until December of 2018. And at this point, it was a few days after my birthday. I had just finished exams, and then I was busing down to visit some of my friends who were in like went to a different school because I transferred halfway. So that was like my first year not being at the same school as them. So I went down and visited them for like after exam time or whatever. So we were hanging out in their apartment. And I was just kind of, you know, scrolling just through my phone very casually, and whoever it was that I was following at the time that retweeted the Goal Line PV and put it on my timeline, you're the whole freaking reason I am here right now. Like, I just literally found it randomly by chance on my timeline, and I was like, oh, what's this? I'm curious. Why not? I'll just play it. And I just kind of stuck one of my earbuds in, just like kind of very nonchalantly, just to see what was going on. And then Goal Line plays, like the minute 30 PV of Goal Line, and I saw like all like the characters being revealed and the seiyus and everything. I was like, huh, okay, yeah, this is kind of good. And then I went to the Twitter, and then I gave him a follow, and then I went to the YouTube channel and gave him a subscribe, and then I listened to the PV again, and I watched it again, and I was like, oh, okay, hey, wait, this is kind of good. And then I was like telling my friends, like, yeah, this is I think this is that new Bang Dream project, the one with the guys. Where I heard about this a while ago, but I didn't know anything about it, and it's pretty good. I was into it. So then we kind of talked about that for a little bit as well and stuff, and then like from then on, I wasn't like, you know, dead set as a fan, but I was like, you know what, I think these guys deserve a chance. Like, you know, like it doesn't seem to be anything, you know, wrong with what they've put out so far, and it seems like it's still just getting up on its feet. So like, you know what, I defend Argonautas. These guys are cool. I like them. And then I saw like that you know, the first single was coming out. I'm like, maybe I'll get this. I don't know. And then like February came, and I think it was like the day it came out, or maybe the day after it came out, I'm not sure, but I was like just scrolling through CD Japan for some reason or whatever, and I was like, all right, Argonautas' single came out today, or it's coming out soon or something like that. So then I went and searched it up, and I was like, maybe I'll get it. Then I was gonna get the regular edition, but it was all sold out. Good for them. Snaps for Argonautas. So then I was like, okay, I'll just get the limited edition. Like, it's not that much more expensive, so yeah, why not? And then, you know, a couple weeks later, I pick up the CD, and the rest is history. Looped that baby for 9 hours straight. I was like messaging those same friends. I'm like, guys, I think I'm a fan of Argonautas. They're so good. And they're just like, girl, calm down. What are you talking about? So from there then on, yeah. So it's been a bit of a journey to get to that point, and then 2 years later after that, 3 years later after that, oh my god, it's been 3 years. Oh god, that's weird. Okay, anyways, let's continue with this. I'm only a minute 45 into this video, and how long have I been streaming? I've been streaming for half an hour, and I'm only a minute 45 into the video. What is wrong with me? Good lord. Okay, I'm gonna try not to talk too much. So, I'll just continue this, or at least try not to pause the video too much.
2018. And became a fan in March of 2019.
Yeah, so the condensed version of what I just said. I could have just let this play.
And content was slow to come by as the project was still getting its footing. The fandom has certainly grown over the past 2.5 years, and the Argonautas project has gone through a lot of growth itself. But even still, there are so many people that have no idea it even exists. And that's not their fault per se. Argonautas is both newer as a project and, well, much better than when it first started. It still doesn't get as much promotion.
Shade I just pulled.
And that's exactly why I want to talk about it. In this video, I'll be going over a timeline of Argonautas' activities up until the release of the game.
It was so funny back then.
A brief introduction of the characters and the game itself. I'll put up timestamps if you want to skip to a specific part.
Good lord.
I won't be able to cover everything, but I'll try to cover the important details.
Yeah, there was so much of the original script that I had to cut out.
I just want to give a huge thanks to
because otherwise it was going to be over an hour.
English Twitter and Estelle Twitter, as well as the Argonautas wiki page. The people behind these pages play a huge role in the international fandom, translating and gathering information, and I can't thank them enough for their hard work. I'll be linking to their accounts in the wiki page in the description.
Yes, thank you. Thank you, translators, because I literally would not have been able to make this video without them.
What it was about or how to find out more about it. Or you stumbled across this by accident and you don't have the slightest clue what I'm talking about. I hope this video will give a bit of insight into the Argonautas project.
Yay! For all the random people who just found this in the recommended, like, I don't recommend this. Dive right into it. Oh yes, and the first time I said my sort of catchphrase, let's dive right into it, which didn't stick as much as until we meet again, which I use in every stream outro because I think it's cute. I like it. I used to kind of say in the beginning of streams, but then I then eventually began forgetting to say it, and then it just was whatever. So, but let's dive right into it. Woo!
Before I get into the Argonavis project, let's talk a bit about how the Bang Dream franchise came to be as a whole. Since many of you might have no prior knowledge of the franchise whatsoever.
Yes, I was very dead set on being like, okay.
Bang Dream.
So I wanted to be like, okay, I want to, you know, introduce like, you know, the Argonavis project from Bang Dream. But if people don't know what Bang Dream is, then they're gonna be like, what? I don't know what this is an extension of. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna, you know, make sure that there is a good solid part for the original like franchise, just so, you know, people have a basis to go off of and be like, okay, this is what Argonavis from Bang Dream is. So then you have a big you know, a bigger picture of like what's going on. And also I was kind of being like, okay, like, you know, this is the original and then this is like, you know, like a sub project for it, but it's not, honestly, it's not that different. I think they're both, you know, they have their own unique charms, and but they're very similar in many ways, and I think they're both really cool. So that was, I guess that was kind of part of my goal with this part. So
shortened to Bandori, was created in 2015 by a company known as Bushido.
Oh my gosh, 2015?
Known for franchises such as Milton
wow,
Holmes,
it's 7 years.
Revue Starlight, and most recently D4DJ, among others. The project would focus on girl bands, something that was inspired by Seiyu named Aimee, who played guitar during the Idol Masters of Idol World Live.
I hope she's doing okay, because I know she went on a hiatus I think around Girls Band Party's 5th anniversary. I think she went on hiatus like the day before or the day after or something. So I really hope she's doing okay. So, as you know, health issues are always really scary. So, sending good thoughts to Aimee, Queen. I hope everything will be okay.
In 2014, performing as her character Julia for her character song Ryuseigan.
This is so cool. Like when I found out this fact initially, I was like, whoa, really? Because like, you know, when you think of Idol Master, you're like, oh yeah, idol singing, dancing, whatever. But like you never think of an idol playing guitar. So I think that's pretty cool.
From there, 4 more bands were added to the universe and 2 more in 2020, having 3 seasons of the anime, a mobile rhythm game, and a plethora
oh my gosh,
of live.
I had the 4th anniversary key illustration up. Oh my gosh, it really has been a year.
Shows with 4 live performing bands of the 7, Bang Dream has become widely successful. The Argonavis project was introduced.
Initial Argo! Oh my gosh! You know what I really want? I want an art book with all of like the beta design and, you know, like drafts for all the characters, because who is this? Who is this? Like, who is that's not Rio. That's like Reginald, his cousin or something. Like, why does he have long hair? I want to know what he looked like. And then also, who's this? Like, that's like, what is this bothering with like bedhead or something? Why does he? And then this is like, this is Ren without bedhead. He kind of reminds me of like Haru from Free. Just for the silhouette alone. And then Yuto and Wataru look it's essentially the same, like hair wise, silhouette wise anyway, so like that's whatever. But these 3, the Argo Sangbaka looks so different from like what they look like now. I'm so intrigued of what they look like, what they used to look like. Oh yeah. I remember seeing a clip about that. That was so cool. Like, oh, that's like when I saw that, I was like, oh, that'd be so cool if there was like a Argonavis High Joker collaboration or something, because like, you know, their instruments are pretty much interchangeable, and I mean Rio can play a guitar, so like that'd be so cool. I would love to hear Argonavis covering oh, what's that song called? Is it Sunset Colors or something? I love that song. It's so cute. And then everybody has like their parts with the singing. That's essentially like what Argo does too. So like, it's perfect. It's just perfect. So I think it would be awesome. So fingers crossed, maybe one day. But they still got to do their Hollow Stars collaboration, which we haven't gotten news on since when was the Hollow Stars live? Was it in December or January? It's been a while. It's been a few months. So hopefully we'll be able to hear about that maybe in the future. There's another like live stream Navi chart that's coming up, right? With Yoshiki and Mako. I don't remember what day it is, but it's coming up in like the next few weeks or so, or a couple weeks. So maybe there'll be some information about that. No, because like, you know, CG Star, that's like, you know, happening, and I think is it ending by the end of the month, or is it going over like a few months or something? I don't know, but it started, so maybe they'll have some more like new news for us. So I don't know. We'll see what they have to say.
Introduced in 2018. A boys band.
Oh, it is Sunset Colors. Okay, awesome. I love that song. It's so sweet. I love that episode 2 of the anime. I go back to watch that and
like earlier,
Sam's episode.
Is from the
I love the episode so much with like the mushroom dance.
Iterate that because a lot of people seem to think they are separate things, which is not true. It's literally in the title.
I was so passive aggressive, or maybe just very aggressive about this part, because like I was just so tired of people being like, "What's this thing?" It's like. It's not from Bang Dream. Like, it literally has Bang Dream in the name. I don't know what else to tell you, dude. It's like, I was like, ah! But now that's not an issue anymore, so I can rest easy. And actually, I made peace with that a while before Argo was like, we dipping from Bandori. So I'm not as I definitely was not as pressed about this later in my life, but in the making of this video, that was a very prevalent issue to me, and I was being like, please, guys, please. So
sorry, I have a lot of pent-up emotions about this.
I have a lot of pent-up emotions about this. Dying.
Bandori is usually used to talk about the girls, since that's all there used to be.
I like this.
Not to mention that it's still used to refer to as such. But basically, Bandori is the overall franchise with Girls Band Party or Garupa as its game, while Argonavis, along with its game, is basically a separate branch within the
You like my flow chart?
using the original format as a basis. Think something like Side M from Idolmaster.
There we go, Side M!
Is Bang Dream, and always has been.
Oh my gosh, okay, so this line, I actually had a beginning part that I cut off because I sounded way too passive-aggressive. It went on something along the lines of like something like although some people don't want to acknowledge it or something like that, Argonavis is Bang Dream and always has been. And also initially when I wrote this line, I was like, Argonavis is from Bang Dream and always will be, but I guess there was something in my gut that was telling me maybe don't say that, just in case by some random miracle maybe that will age very poorly. So just put has been, because it always has been Bang Dream. It isn't anymore, but it had been, so I mean that still rings true. So oh my god, I just think about my script writing back then. I was like, wow. Wow. If I had more audacity, I suppose, I would have been so brutal with my shade against people who did not respect Argonavis. But I was like, I don't think that's a good first impression for me, so I'll just be a little sassy, but I'll be like, you know, educational more so than sassy, but you know. There's still some of that lingers. So.
It also doesn't help that they decided to give the project and the main band the same name, Argonavis.
I still wonder to this day, why all the double meaning? I don't get it.
Of their names. Argonavis, spelled in all caps, refers to the project coupled with this logo.
This logo?
While Argonavis, spelled properly, is the band's name coupled with this logo.
If you were just like listening to this video without the visuals and you just heard this logo and this logo, you'd be like, what? This is like the worst explanation I've ever heard in my life. Because I was like, okay, how do I explain, you know, the differences in the logos? And then I was just like, that's gonna be too complex, and like it's literally just all caps versus like proper spelling. I'm not gonna explain that like the Argo Pro logo looks like word art, and then the proper Argonavis band logo looks like someone went ham with the spray tool or something. I'll just put them up for people to be like, okay, there's a big visual difference between the two logos, not just in spelling but also graphic design. Very passionate about that. So there we go.
Speaking of its name, the name Argo Navis comes from a former constellation under the same
yes,
name.
My history lesson on the Argo Navis.
It was a ship that carried Jason and his fleet of men, the Argonauts.
This took a lot of time because I was like, okay, what is the history of this constellation? I got no idea.
Due to it being so
I know, I'm a bad star, I'm sorry.
Instead, it was broken down into smaller constellations. Vela, Pupus, Carina, and Pisces.
Okay, this part was a little confusing for me because when I researched this, there was like so many articles were like, no, there's only 3 parts of the Argo Navis. No, there's actually 5 parts of the Argo Navis. I was like, what? But so I went with what they had explained during one of the Zero Lives. Moroshi had explained it, that there was 4 parts of the constellation. So I just went with like images that had like, you know, the 4 parts. So it's like 3 parts of the ship and then the compass. Because some people are like, the compass isn't technically part of like the Argo Navis constellation, but I was like, it is, and there's something else. And I was like, that's too much for me to figure out. I just want to like inform anime fans about band boys. I'm not here for an actual astrological lesson. Blah, blah, blah. So I just went with this.
Also, according to the myth, the ship refused to go into the water until it was charmed by Orpheus's lyre.
Oh yeah, this was a really cool fact. I like this.
How interesting. The power of music to make a ship sail. Who knew?
I feel like this line can be used in many contexts, not just the actual context of this. I was like, when your idol anime ship is sailing or whatever, or they look at each other for 5 seconds, the power of music to make a ship sail. Who knew?
The project was officially announced on May 12th, 2018 during Bang Dream's 2-day 5th Live.
Oh my gosh, amazing, like a couple months. It's weird.
Which got mixed reactions, as many people were unhappy with the idea of boys interacting with the girls, which also spurred a lot of hate onto the project.
Oh, yeah.
But I'm not going to talk about that, so I'll just end that by saying it was heartbreaking to see and completely unwarranted.
You're gonna hear just like me trying to hold back this line. Ay, ay, ay. Alright, give me 1 second. I'm just gonna mute again and we'll be back at it. Alright. Sorry, my sizes are being really mean to me today, so I apologize for all the muting. I don't want y'all to hear the gross noises and stuff. My nose, why? Doste? Nande? Alright, anyways.
To call these worries, Boosteroo President Takaaki Kidani announced the Argo Navis project would be in a separate
I love
world
keeping
to girls,
these tweets in my tabs for a year. Just so I can remember to screen cap them.
It's pretty safe to say that we won't be seeing any sort of interactions between the two projects, which I'm really disappointed with as a fan of both. Besides, could you imagine a duet with Kasumi and Ren?
I still want this. I still want this so badly, you have no idea. I want this duet to happen. Please!
That would be legendary. Not Rosalia's legendary. That's a whole different legendary. Love that song, by the way.
I literally put this in just as a joke, and also just to be like, okay, I do know like Bandori like songs. I love Legendary. I watched it for the Card Fight Vanguard V opening, and I was like, I love this song, and it's amazing. And it's like I'm not just like, you know, an Argo Navis fan. I do like the original Bang Dream as well, guys. So I was trying to be like, hey, I'm trying to promote this like Band Boy thing, but like I also like the original too. I'm not just being like the original sucks. It's like no, I like both. I just really passionately want to push the boys and stuff, but I also enjoy the girls too, so just give both a chance. Choose both. Why not both? Like that one old El Paso commercial. Don't fight over soft tortillas and corn shells. Just have both. Just like the best of both worlds. Like, why not? Oh yeah, and then the announcement book Tachi no remake I just came out before I uploaded the video, so I just put that in as like a last minute just like addition. I was like, by the way, this thing just happened. I was like so excited. I was like, ah! Also, that DNA logo down there. And the Bushi logo. You don't see either of those on any of their copyrights anymore, which is such a power move.
Their activities began later that year, starting with their first live on July 29th. Or rather, their first live, because their actual first live happened the year after. But I'm getting ahead of myself. Now, what do I mean
the
by
explanation of zero lives.
That was the name of their shows before they gathered all their members. As similar to Pop and Party, they only started with 3. They had 3 zero lives, all held at a live house called Shimokitazawa Garden.
Rest in peace, Shimokitazawa Gardens. I can't believe it's shut down. That's so sad. Like, that's like basically that's like the home, the starting point of so many like, you know, bang dream bands like Pop and Party, and I'm certain the third, which turned into Raise a Sleelan, that's where they started too, and then Argonauts. It's like such like an important point for the project and the franchise as a whole. So when I heard it was like, you know, closing down, it was so sad. I was like, oh no. I was hoping maybe I could visit one day, but that's not really an option anymore. So yeah, no. Life happens.
Starting with their first live, they had keyboardist Morishima Shuta, guitarist Hyuga Daisuke, and bassist Maeda Seiji. Because a vocalist
oh my god! Can we just comment on how young they look? I'm gonna cry! Like 2018 was like only 4 years ago, but they look so young there. Oh my gosh! Oh! To have been at that first live, I would do anything to be there that first time and experience that. Like that is, oh my gosh, I wish I could have been there. I wish at least I could have known about it. I wish I looked more into it when I initially found out about the project. So I'm so sad.
In the early stages, all 3 members took turns singing. However, Maeda is most notable as their early vocalist, with a short version of their very first song, Steady Goes, up on the Argonauts YouTube channel with him singing.
Maeda Seiji, vocalist supremacy! He's so good! He sounds so good! What the heck? Like, why hasn't he sung more after this?
Personally, it's one of my favorites, and I hope someday they release the full song to the public.
Please!
On September 15th,
I want more Maya-chan singing! Please! Like, I'm so glad that he has parts in, like, you know, the full group Argonauts songs and stuff, like Voice and Kito Boku and Hey Argonauts. But I want a song where it's him and Ren singing, like how Yuto has his like duets and stuff, and Ryo has his parts, and even Banri has a part now with Natsuno Burn coming out, so which should be in like the next couple weeks or so, and I'm really excited for that. Yeah, all the singles have been so good. I've been listening to Aruga Mama de As Is and crying. It's such a pretty song. So I'm just praying. Maybe I'm holding out a little bit of hope that maybe something on Cyan will have like Wataru like singing as like, you know, his like duet solo backing vocal sort of song. Maybe it will be Cyan, if Cyan is actually a name of the song that's gonna be on the track. I don't know, but you know, please. He's so good. I wanna cry. Sorry about that.
Vocalist Ito Masahiro was added during their 0-second live partway through their set, and on December 10th, they revealed drummer Hashimoto Shohei in their Zero Beyond.
By the way, I love Hei Hei's hair in the Zero Beyond Live. I think that's like, I love like all of his like current styles and stuff, but that's like my favorite hairstyle of his. He looks so good. I hope he brings it back one day. See, it's like, that's the thing, like when I watched like the Goal Line PV for the first time, I was like, hey, that drummer's cute. I like his hair. He also seems familiar to me, but I don't know from what. But I like his hair. That was like one of the things that like stood out to me. And then it turned out I knew him from the Haikyuu stage plays because he played Nishinoya. And I was like, what? I was like shook to my core. So
live during the encore. This date is also regarded as the day Argonavis fully formed.
Oh yeah, just like if you see in the corner here, which is also my birthday, but that's not important. I actually had like a voice segment be like, oh, which is also my birthday, and I went to like second live for my birthday, but I was like, no, that sounds too braggy and too like cringe, as if this whole video isn't full of cringe. So I was just like, okay, I'm just gonna cut all that out, and I'm just gonna put it in a tiny little corner just in the side of the video. So like it's there, but like if people don't want to look, they don't have to. They'll be like, okay, we can just ignore that it's her birthday as well. But like if they just happen to see it and be like, oh, it's also her birthday, that's cool. I didn't want to be like all in your face about it. I felt bad.
The initial character designs created by Miyoshi Hikaru were also revealed for the first time.
Miyoshi Hikaru, thank you for your work.
From there,
I miss Beta Ren so much, you have no idea. I love him. He was like, okay, so I love current Ren, don't get me wrong, but Beta Ren was like, he was, you know, awkward and quiet, but in like a very like, you know, kind of like very loner-ish way. Like he wouldn't be like, wow, like everything's so awesome and stuff, like the way like, you know, current Ren is. He was kind of just like, you know, very reserved and like held back. But when he found something that, you know, he was like passionate about, like, you know, in the second audio drama where he was like, oh my gosh, burgers, I want to go for burgers. It's like those moments where you see like he's not just like some like, you know, moody like main character guy who's like really brooding and like, you know, like emo anime boy, whatever. He was like, he's just, you know, awkward, doesn't know when to like, you know, express emotions and stuff or whatever. But like when he has, you know, he's in like the right place with the right people and stuff, and he's like, I really want to do this, and is it okay if we do this? And like that's what like those cute little moe like parts, because like you don't expect it. And when we all saw that for the first time, we're like, oh my god, he's adorable. Like he looks so cool, but he's like actually squishy. Is it? It's like that's what really drew me into him for the first time. I was like, oh my gosh, the cat moe is like so real, and now he's just all moe. Not that I don't love that, but I also miss when he had like that quiet passion of his. Like I think Hikaru Miyoshi, you know, they designed like initial Argonavis, and I think they designed like all of the characters. Correct me if I'm wrong, but they did put out that one illustration, I think when Double A Side released or something. So it's leading me to believe that they at least had like some hand in designing all the characters. But like they drew our Argonavis, especially Ren, like so well. They conveyed like his personality traits so well, just because like, you know, they had like a hand in like creating him. So I really want, you know, I want Hikaru Miyoshi Sensei to work on some more Argonavis content sometime in the future, because like they have my favorite rendition of rendition. But okay, sorry.
We go to February 20th, 2019, where they released their very first single, Goal Line.
Goal Line!
The Blu-ray version comes with the full live Goal Line music video, as well as a behind-the-scenes look at the making of the
Actually, wait, I can see that. I can kind of see that. No wonder I like Rayon so much. also, I'll get to the, I think I maybe put Beta Gyro in here. I can't remember if I did, but like, if you look at Beta Gyro versus like Gyro now, Nayata didn't have his cat ears back then. He literally grew into his cat ears, and I think that's hilarious.
The video. May 17th held their official first live, and
me too. I want to hug every version of Ren. I love every version of Ren.
The encore, they announced
but I also miss Beta Ren,
including an animated MV of Goal Line, their second single, and the
first
date of their second
live.
live.
I wish I could have been there.
Around this time, it was announced that Argonavis would do a tie-in with the Bushiroad franchise I mentioned earlier, Cardfight Vanguard.
Yes.
And their second single, Starting Over Gift,
on
August 26th, would feature double A-side tracks. Keep this phrase in mind.
I was also so proud of this line. I'm like, keep this phrase in mind, double A side, because then it was leading into like the double A side game announcement. I was like, you know, stay tuned. was trying to be clever.
With the opening for the Vanguard X Switch game and the first ending of the Shinemon arc. The Blu-ray version includes about an hour of footage from their first live. Backtracking a bit because I almost forgot to include this.
Okay, so this part, I did initially actually forget about it, and I think I forgot about like another one of the like the earlier lives or whatever, but I was just like, whatever. So when I did like remember this part, I put it in, but I was like, did I want to put it earlier? But then I was like, nah, I'm just gonna put it in like I meant to put it in like the segments. Like I actually forgot. It's like, oh no, I forgot, and then I just quickly inserted this here. But I actually remembered for a while, and I was just like, I'm just gonna leave it like that for the flow of the video. Just have kind of something in between starting over gift and the AGF announcements and stuff. So it kind of worked out.
But about a month before their second single released, Argonavis had their 1.5th live on July 20th.
1.5th live, let's go!
On day 1 of D4DJ's 2-day first live.
This was like the strangest crossover I've ever seen. Because like Argo was like the first like opening act, and then I think Raz was the second opening act on the second day or whatever. And like I heard so many things about how the opening acts were better than the actual lives, because I heard there was a lot of like weird technical issues with this live. Like I don't know anything about what happened, so like correct me if I'm wrong. This is just basically what I'm hearing from other people, but there was a lot of like weird technical issues and stuff, and some of like the sets were like not as like I guess long as others. Like some ended like really quickly and others went on like really long, and they said that like the opening acts like captured the attention of the audience better than like the actual performance, which I felt kind of bad about, because I'm like, this is like their first live, and it didn't seem to generate a lot of, you know, positive feedback. But obviously they've grown from that. Like D4DJ is like, you know, pretty big right now, as far as I know anyways. I don't really keep track of it. I do know about the collab they did with Argo in game and stuff, and I considered briefly for a moment to download the game, but then I heard that it takes a lot of in-game like items to actually get like new songs added, and when you first start the game you only have enough to get like one new song, so you have to kind of grind to get more. And I was like, I don't want to do that. I don't want to play this game for too long. I literally just wanted to get all the Argo songs, like the Argo Pro songs, play those, and then just get rid of the game. I didn't have an interest in playing the game any further. So anyways,
where they premiered the Goal Line MV. November 5th.
Oh my god, that Goal Line MV! Like, if you go onto the Argonavis channel right now and you look at their most viewed video, it's the preview of the Goal Line MV, which is only like 30 seconds of the actual MV, but it has like, I think over like 1 million views or something. That's insane. I don't know how that happened, but it generated so much hype. And like, I'm so sad that the MV's still not up. It was up for a limited time, and then they took it down, which I really think they should have kept it up, honestly. Though I admittedly I was a little disappointed that the MV was like only 1:30, wasn't the full song. I was kind of expecting it to be the full song, because like, you know, Pop and Party has like so many MVs and they're like the full songs and stuff. Meanwhile, Argonavis only has 1:30. I was like, what? It's already over? What? I mean, I still liked it, but I was like, I wish there was more. Why isn't there more? So I'm hoping like, you know, Argo gets like another like MV, like maybe like a Seiyu MV, like a full Seiyu MV, like Gyro did for Freestyle, or like a character MV for something. I don't know what, but like one of their songs would be super cool. So yeah, here's hoping for that.
The Argonavis info presentation just before Anime Girls Festival, or AGF for short, where a lot of fun things happened. Remember when I said keep the phrase double A side in mind?
Remember when I said that thing like 5 minutes ago? Did you remember that? Well, guess what? I'm gonna tell you why you had to keep that in mind. Like,
that's because that very phrase turned out to be the title of their mobile game. And the name of one of Argonavis's new songs.
I was so just like distraught with like the double naming. I'm like,
what is with this double naming? Bushiro, explain! This came along with the announcement of their anime and 2 new bands to the project, Gyroaxia and Phantom Iris.
I like this.
The seiyus for the vocalists of each band were also announced. Gyroaxia's—
oh my god! 2019 Okajin! And look, there's Beta Naita without his cat ears! He looks so bald! He's bald Naita. Where are his ears? It looks so strange. my gosh, I remember when this live stream was airing, and I saw this for the first time. I saw Okajin walk on stage for the first time. I'm like, who is this adorable being of a man? He is so cute. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna cry. Who is this? I love him. I don't know who this is, and I missed his name, and I missed what character he's playing, but I love him. I absolutely love him. I was like, I want to protect him. He's so sweet. And he was like, he messed up the first few times when he was introducing himself, and I was like, oh my gosh! I like going back to that specific portion of the live stream and just playing that over, because I'm like, oh, he's so precious. I love him. I love him. And now he's just dominating freaking Universal and stuff, and I'm like, okay, I see how it's going. Okajin the world! And speaking of like 2019, look at Arthur. Where is his hair? He's bald. Where is his hair? Where is his gorgeous locks of hair? This looks so strange. I just hit my microphone with my headphones. Forgive me. I don't know if that made any noise, but I certainly felt it. But this looks so strange. Like, if Arthur doesn't have long hair, I don't know who he is. Who is this man's? It's just like, this is like, you know, those memes where it's like freshman year versus like 12th grade. This is freshman Arthur. Oh my god! Also, I found it really interesting that hold on, give me a sec. Easy. Yeah, I also found it really interesting that his debut role was in Starmie. He was the blue character. I can't remember his name, but I remember watching that and I was like, oh, this guy sings really well. I think that's great or whatever. And then I found out that was his debut role, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I've known about him since his debut. What are the odds? What are the odds that I find him in this project that I'm now obsessed with? Who would have guessed? And that also kind of happened with Gakkun, because I had heard about, you know, Black Clover, and I watched like half the first episode of Black Clover. I didn't get into it. It wasn't really my thing, but I heard about, you know, a lot of people being like, what's with this Asa guy? Why is he always screaming and stuff? And that was like, you know, in 2017. Now here he is, like, you know, a solo artist, you know, singing like the ending to like Black Clover. He's got his own singles and stuff, and, you know, he's just being generally successful. It's like, look at you go! Look at you go! I love it when we see success for our favorite voice actors. Snaps for Gakkun. Snaps for Gakkun.
Phantom Iris's Lounsbury Arthur. A few days later at their AGF stage, the remaining Phantom Iris seiyus were announced. Wada Masaya, Fukuyama Jun, Yonaga Tsubasa, and Ayukawa Tayo. On November 8th,
I was gonna try and get, you know, footage from the actual live stream, but they didn't have it up on the channel anymore, so I was just like, okay, I'll just go for like the Navi streams, because like they've got everyone, so that's easy enough as it is. Yeah.
Argo Novice got its own 4-panel comic series that would run in Gekkan Bushi called Puchigo Novice, written and drawn by artist Watarizora Tsubame Maru. The comic will focus on the members of Argo Novice and later the other bands in their daily lives.
Okay, not related to literally anything about this video, but I love this specific panel. I think Wataru's like talking about like the song composition, or like, oh wow, this is really good, or like the lyrics are really good, and Red's like, what? And then he just starts like, you know, going off about like everything about it, and then like Wataru's is like, I regret so many things. It was like one of my ideal dynamics between Ren and Wataru. Is just Wataru just expressed like, you know, mild interest in something Ren loves, and then Ren just like full on like, let me give you a 1,000-page essay about why I love this thing and why you should also love this thing. And Wataru's just like, oh god, what have I done? I think there should be more moments about that. I think that's really wholesome and cute.
With cute and funny shenanigans as the
Puchigo
delicate
Novice
average everyday
anime. Also, Muraka Rio is so iconic at this point. I don't know anybody who doesn't know about this. Look at this man's. He's just shaking his maracas like it's nobody's business. I love him. I love him so much.
scenarios. December 5th brought their second live held at Tokyo Dome City Hall.
Okay, and there's also a portion here where I was like, you know, they held their second live at on December 5th, which I actually had the privilege of being able to go to, but I'm like, no, that's too braggy too. I gotta cut that out. I gotta get that. If I ever get the chance to, you know, bring it up or whatever, then yeah, I'll talk about it. But I'm not gonna be like outright to like, yeah, I went to second live in this video, because I'd be like, okay. If I was under the impression that people were gonna, you know, share this video and watch it and stuff, and like, you know, multiple people would see it, and I didn't want to be like, by the way, I went to second live, I'm super important. It's like, no, I'm just here to be educational, and maybe if they're, you know, more interested in you know, stuff that I have personally gone through or whatever, and interested in me as a content creator, and maybe I'll talk about it, maybe we'll find out like that. But I'm not gonna put it in this intro video. I don't want to give like the wrong impression. It's like I'm okay with being seen as like cringy and weird, but I don't want to be seen as like braggy. I that's the last thing I want to be seen as. I'm so worried. I was like, oh god.
And with it, they revealed the remaining Gyroaxia members as the second live performing band, streaming their debut online as well. Hashimoto Shinichi, Mano Takumi, Akiya Hiroto, and Miyauchi Kosuke.
Oh, look, the best without his long hair. Ah! That's also so weird. Like, it feels so weird to like not see some of the seiyus with like the hair that they've grown into for their characters. I mean, with like, you know, like Aki, he's always kind of had like, you know, his clip-on highlights or whatever they do for his hair and stuff. But like, you know, like Ko-chan and like, you know, his long hair that he has now, it feels so weird to see him like old footage where he doesn't have that long hair. It's like, oh my gosh, bald.
Part about this reveal,
I say lovingly. I love like early seiyu looks. I think they're adorable.
The excitement in the venue was overwhelming, and everyone was in full support of them crashing the live. What we didn't see coming was this.
Oh yeah, this part was also just an excuse to show off the intro to Manifesto, because like that scared the crap out of me. Oh my gosh, I was like, oh wow, this is so cool. And then like that explosion happened. I was like, ah! Like I literally screamed. As you could hear, not specifically me, but in the clip, you could just hear a bazillion people in the audience just screaming because we're like, what is this? Like, this does not do justice to how loud and terrifying that was. Like, it literally felt like someone shot us. And we're just like, ah! But like it sounds pretty tame here, but it was like terrifying. Also, if we just look in the corner here, look at this old blue Bang Dream logo that is no longer in use. It hasn't been in use for like at least 2 years. So rip in peace, blue Bang Dream logo. And then also this message here, very real screams of terror, by the way. No one was ready for this. It was awesome.
During the encore, they revealed the date and location for their next live. Third live crossing at My Hama Amphitheater, featuring both Argonavis and Gyroaxia for a 2-day live on April 28th and 29th.
Oh yeah, so there's like a part, like there's parts of like the lives that I found now that like they'll allow people to like record, so then like they can like, you know, keep them for personal keepsakes or maybe post them online or whatever. So the I guess there was like for the encore, like before like they performed again for like the actual encore, they had like a brief message period where like, okay, you can start recording this and we'll be like, you know, giving out announcements and stuff. This is when they announced like the fan name, and then they announced like the new live and some other stuff or whatever. I have that recording still on my phone. And it still feels so surreal that I have that recording, because like, you know, this is kind of the thing that I would, you know, see like JP Navi's like posting and sharing stuff and be like, wow, that's amazing, I wish I could have been there. But no, this is something that I have on my phone that I recorded with my own thumb and own phone, and you could hear my raspy horrible voice because I was like cheering and singing along the entire night, and my voice was dead. It was absolutely dead. By the time the encore rolled around, it's just, oh, the voice cracks were just disgusting. Oh my god.
As well, they announced the official Argonavis fan name, Navigator, or Navi for short. Navi! On January 12th, 2020, during their New Year's livestream, the fourth band was revealed. Fujin Rising, with all 5 seiyus announced.
I remember when this live stream happened, I was at work and I was so sad I couldn't watch it. So when my break rolled around, I ran to like the sandwich place that was like down from the place that I was working at, and I just bought some lunch, quickly sat down, whipped out my phone. I was like, okay, what's this new band like? And then I heard Banzai Rising for the first time, and I was like, oh, this is so cute. I love the vocalist. He's so cute. I was just like, I was absolutely in love with Furai. They were so bright and funky and just so fun. And I was not aware of any angst at the time until I read people's theories. I was like, oh god, oh god, oh god.
Nakajima Yoshiki, Kanako Makoto.
Also, I don't know what happened to the resolution with these clips, but I was like, I can't deal with this anymore. I'll just leave it as is.
Their third CD, Voice Manifesto, was released as a joint mini-album with both Argonavis and Jaro Axia. The Blu-ray version comes with the Goal Line animated MV, as well as 3 songs of performance footage from Argonavis' 1.5 Live.
Oh yeah! And I was like, this is also when they stopped including instrumentals in their CDs. They only did it for the first 2 singles, and I'm like, why? I liked having the instrumentals. What do you mean you're not including them? What are you like? I'm still holding like the smallest shred of hope that one day they'll release a what was it called, like a instrumental collection or something. They'll just have a bunch of instrumentals from like a bunch of their singles or whatever, and then just sell that. I don't know, I don't think that'll happen, but like I refuse to let go of that hope because I want the instrumentals so bad. You have no idea. Like for the new Gyro songs, I'm not really holding out too much hope because it's Universal. I'm not expecting them to like give out instrumentals and stuff. But for the other bands, like, come on, I love listening to the instrumentals. Like it's one of my favorite things. No, I mean obviously yeah, I like to sing along to them too and stuff. But I just like to sing the instrumental and be like, okay, oh, this is what they did with the song. This is those cool little like kind of effects and things that they did with the song. Oh, that's cool. Like I like that. I like listening to the instrumentals on their own. So I was really sad when they stopped including them. I was like, no, why would you do that? It's sad.
The 5th band was revealed on February 15th during their Valentine's Day stream. Epsilon 5.
Ah yes, Epsi 5. Pepsi boys.
Yuki, Kajiwara Gakuto, Ichikawa Taichi, Minegishi Kei, and Tachibana Shinosuke.
Okay. Unfortunate pause moment for Tachibana-san. Okay, so I don't know how many of y'all were around when Epsi was introduced, but from what I remember from that day, it went from being, wow, this is awesome, we have all 5 bands, to like when the translations of their profiles came out was like, oh god. Like, not just because like, something like obviously Epsi characters are a bit darker. They have, some more messed up things to their character profiles. I think that's interesting and stuff. But there was a lot of reactions when that happened, and a lot of people who weren't like into the project just found that out randomly, and then they started just tearing down the project as a whole without have any context. And I remember going from like that day going from like amazing to like an awful day. I remember ending the day in tears. I was so upset about what was happening. So I have very mixed feelings about this day. Like, I'm glad that Epsilon Phi is part of the project and stuff. I wouldn't have it without them, but I really wish that there had been different reactions that day, because it was a hard day. Like I didn't understand like the I guess the size of like how badly some people reacted when they had nothing to do with the project at all. Like, they weren't even fans. Like, I didn't understand. I was like, really, you're just gonna react for the sake of reacting? Like, come on, at least learn a bit about the project before you bash it out the whole thing. Like if you don't like the characters, that's fine, but don't say that the whole project is like horrible when you don't know anything about it. Like, so that was very frustrating, but we've moved past that. It's been 2 years, so yeah. At least I've moved past it. I don't delve into too much of like fandom whatever that's going on as much as I used to, so I don't know what current opinions are, and I'm fine with that. I'm just gonna enjoy my boys at the pace that I have always and always will be. So
on April 10th, the Argonavis anime began airing during the Super Anime in 2025. Before
I won't talk too much about this because I have another segment about it later on. So
on YouTube, where they would have various cast members react to previous episodes, read the synopsis of that night's episode, host drawing scene challenges, and just involve a lot of wacky banter and chaos. On April 29th, Argonavis' third single, Hoshi ga Hajimaru, was released, including the opening for their anime and the opening for Cards by Vanguard Gaiden If. Raise your hand if you watched all of Gaiden If and you still have no idea what happened.
To this day, I still have no idea what happened. I think about the plot and I'm like, how does this make any sense? This literally made no sense. I don't get it. I was so confused. Oh my god.
The Blu-ray version was originally going to include a Hakodate trip featuring the band, but due to the COVID-19 outbreak, they were unable to go through with this. It was instead changed to Argonavis Zero
I hope
Live
they get to go on
Selection,
that Hakodate trip sometime, because I was really excited about that, but then they, like, you know, obviously it was postponed and I was really sad. I was like, oh, I hope they get to go, you know, in the future sometime, because they also seem really excited about it too, so, you know, someday in the future they'll be able to, like, you know, well, I mean, obviously they went for, like, Kikobokura, so maybe they'll have some footage from that, so,
show created by Kita Okanao,
maybe,
music producer for the Argonavis
I almost forgot about Kitobokura.
It would use pre-recorded audio.
Like, wait, that was in Hakodate.
Live shows, mixed in a way to make it sound as if
the history of sound-only lives.
New audio dramas throughout to form a cohesive storyline. D4DJ and Bandori would host their own sound-only lives later on.
Because, like, there was a lot of, you know, there was, like, you know, the D4DJ and Bandori sound-only lives that were happening. And, like, not many people really knew that Argo was the one that started that whole thing. So I was like, by the way, let me tell you about this cool thing that our project started and has now been, you know, integrated into other projects. So this is where it started. This is where it all started, guys.
While this was meant to act as a stand-in
for regular live sound-only lives, exactly. Or, sorry, souls, as I call them.
Especially us international fans that wouldn't be able to watch shows like these otherwise. Props to you, Kitaoka now.
Souls single-handedly saved 2020, in my opinion. They were, like, the best part of 2020. Like, just being able to, like, you know, go on YouTube and just, like, gather with, like, all these other fans for, like a live concert, quote-unquote. It was just so much fun. I loved watching sound-only lives on YouTube. I hope they bring them back, because it's just so much fun. Like, it's a very just, you know, like, easy way to just kind of, you know, bring people together just for, like, you know, an hour or two of entertainment, bring some story together and stuff, have some shenanigans going on, whatever, and just, you know, just have a fun set list put together. Sound-only lives are awesome.
They had special guest Felix on day 1 and Uchigawa Shu on day 2. And due to the success of these 2 days, they announced a surprise Seoul Day 3 on June 14th, featuring Kaminoshima Futa, Tsubaki Yamato, and Wakakusa Aoi, and Seoul Destiny Rock Festival, or DesFest, on June 27th to tie in with the anime. There had been talk of rescheduling Third Live once the state of emergency was lifted, and it was decided that it would be held in 2021 on March 12th and 13th at Pacifico Yokohama National Convention Hall.
Oh yeah! It's been a year since Third Live Crossing. Damn! I remember watching that. I remember watching that both days and just, oh my gosh. Like, thinking back to it and thinking back to, like, you know, everything that's happened, I feel like it might have been, you know, likely that, you know, things were in the works for, you know, Argo to separate from Bang Dream. Like talks about that probably were happening at the time. And thinking back to it, like, they performed well, but they also seemed like a bit nervous, or at least Argo did anyways. They kind of felt like it was a bit stiffer than, like, how they usually performed and stuff. And I was wondering, like, if something was happening. Maybe it was just, like, you know, because you know, the live had been delayed for a year, so, like, I guess there was maybe more expectations about, like, you know, them performing and stuff. But it also wouldn't be out of the question to think that maybe, like, you know, like, you know, all this background stuff about, like, you know, the new company and everything were going on in, you know, the background and stuff. So that was also something that was weighing on their minds. And you know what, I want to say, like, ever since, like, the project separated, or, like, the project announcement separation has been, you know, released into the wild, the difference between Kito Bokurawa and Argo project, or, like, from Argo First Live, like, you can just see that, like, especially Argonavis, they are so like, they were just so much, you know, freer with their performance, and they like. And Kito Bogoro, like they performed amazing, but there was just like this kind of stiffness of like, you know, nervousness that they kind of were exuding, and obviously for no obvious reasons, with all the project announcements that we later found out about. But then, like, you know, once that was all out in the open, and then they were like with everybody from Margot's first live, they just, you know, they performed so smoothly and so you know, without a care, but they were like, you know, so strong and vibrant, and I was so happy for them, because like, who knows how long they had been, you know, like kind of having to keep back like all of this like change and you know, feelings of like worry and fear and stuff about like, you know, what the project was headed and everything. So like, just kind of have that kind of settled for the time being, and they could just, you know, play and sing to their heart's content, was just, it was just so like relieving to see that they were, you know, still like enjoying themselves on stage and stuff. And I was really happy to be able to see them performing like that, because like, I felt that there was something going on, but like, I couldn't, you know, say anything, because like, what did I know? I'm just some fan who's like, you know, just noticing something's maybe off, but like, you know, I still enjoy it, but like, I'm just, you know, worried that something's happening, and then we find out that something is happening, so it's just like, ugh. So everything's well. Now we're just waiting for game news, so or just more news in general. So yeah, anyways,
though that wouldn't be decided until January.
Oh yeah, and I was like, by the way, that's streaming.
At this time, however,
go
they
watch
did confirm a new live to be held. Live Royal Fest, which just so happens to be the name of the festival that occurs within AA side.
LR Fest 2020!
Jara Axia's first single.
Also, the difference between LR Fest 2020 and From Margot 2022, also like night and day. Like, they were like, you know, amazing in 2020, but then in 2020, like the From Margot First Live 2022, they brought it to like a whole new level. Like, oh my gosh, especially like Sakaki Haruyuki, like he was able to like you know, hold his voice better in From Margot First Live than 2020. Like, he did like a pretty good job, but like it was obvious that like, you know, that voice is really hard to maintain like for like, you know, a sustained period of time for singing. But then in 2022, he just completely blew it out of the water. He was amazing. I was so impressed. I was so happy, because like it's been obvious that he'd been practicing a lot, and I was just so happy. And then obviously, you know, Gakkun was there too, and it was like everybody in Epsi was there, and the backing bands. It just brought everything together, and I was just like, yes, this is everything I've ever wanted. So I was so happy about that.
Scatter was released, including the opening and ending for the anime. The Blu-ray version features the 2 songs they performed during second live, as well as their creditless opening and
every time I think about Scatter, I think about that one, you know, the Salt and Pepper Diner segment that like literally everybody knows about, and they use it for like every single like meme of like every single fandom. So someone did that for Argo, and they used two tracks of Gyros with Scatter and Liar, and there's like, that was one part was like, oh, he took like a bottle or smashed on the ground and yelled Scatter, and then like the single art just like pops up, or like the title of the song pops up or whatever. It just sent me into a laughing fit. And then the other one was like, and then he's like, oh, were you at my party on Saturday? And I said no, you know, like a liar, and then Liar pops up. I was like, that's clever. I like that.
ending for the anime. Jumping a bit, we go to July 25th, where they held Starry Line Special Live.
Starry Line Special Live, my love!
The special refers to the fact that it was a live
I should rewatch Special Live. That was a fun live.
Argo Novice and guest Ogasawara Jin and
continued the freaking or like plexiglass like between part. That was so funny. It was like, what is this? And then there was like this part where like it was just Argo performing whatever, and I was it Starting Over, or was it, I don't remember what song it was, but like they were performing whatever, and then like Yusuke was kind of getting closer to Masa, and Masa was like kind of being like, just, you know, saying like, you know, we gotta stay, you know, like you gotta stay like apart or whatever for social distance. I was like, that's so funny. And they were laughing laughing about it. I was like, this is great. I love this. Argo enforcing social distancing. We love to see it.
If you've seen the anime, you know exactly what I'm talking about. How could they end it there? On August 11th, the Argonavas manga.
I'm sorry, that cut I did. I'm ashamed to say that that made me laugh the first time I watched it, and obviously it still makes me laugh. So a lot of the edits that I do that like are just like, you know, like sudden cuts, I keep those in because they make me laugh. I don't know if they make other people laugh, but they make me laugh, so that's why I keep them in.
Again, it's run on the Shonen Jump Plus website, drawn by Kyohei Miyajima. The manga follows the same characters, but has some changes compared to the anime plotline and introduces a manga-only character. The next day, on August 12th...
Sorry, I started laughing at manga-only character. It's not a manga-only character anymore! He's not a manga only character anymore. He was in the movie. One line that did not age well. That one. Sorry, Naita.
Argonavas released their very first album titled Starry Line.
Starry Line, my love!
The version includes footage of the entirety of Second Live and a special booklet with the lyrics of each song and special messages from the Argonavas cast and composers. August 29th held
welcome! Thank you so much for joining!
An info stream where they teased more game info and announced more short
Oh my gosh, the short sound only lives. I love these. I think these were some of the best things that the project put out in 2020. Like, I mean, Sound Only Lives as a whole was amazing, but just the individual like Sound Only Lives for every band was so excellent. Especially because we got Punch and Lore. I wasn't expecting that, but we got Punch and Lore. I was so happy. I'm still waiting for my Ponchan plush to come in the mail. I don't know when it's coming, but like, I'm assuming it'll be either this month or next month. I'm not sure. It shipped out in, what was it, like early January? I don't remember, but I'm not expecting it for a while. But I want my Ponchan plush, please. I need my puppy, please.
Each band in the upcoming months, as well as the date for Live Royal Fest. On September 12th, Jara Axia's paid online live titled Ignition was held, doubling as a birthday live for the character band's lead singer Asahi Naita. It was also held without an audience. A special birthday cake was released for a limited time with tickets. The only reason I bring this up is because I just want you all to take a look at this. Look at how ridiculous this is.
Okay. I just want to say, back in the day, I used to bully Naita so bad. I compared him to like Ranmaru and then like the guy from Ace Attorney, like in the red jacket or whatever, because you know, like him and Ranmaru in law, and I was like, wait a minute. And then I was just like making fun of this. I'm like, why is he just sitting in fire? He's like the "this is fine" dog. This is fine.
Look at this dumb man sitting in fire. What are you trying to prove?
Look at this dumb man sitting in fire. What are you trying to prove? Why did I say that? I was so savage. What is wrong with me? I'm just sweetie, I'm sorry. I like bullied him like 3 times in this video. This one, and then there's 2 more coming up. I'll mention them when they come up.
Don't worry, I love this guy a lot, but just he's just so extra.
He's just so extra. And then this was revealed, and I was like, my love, I love him. Look how cute he is. And then I've pre-ordered Ren's birthday standee for this year, and what others. Anyways.
September 24th brought Phantom Iris's
He looked like he was trying to smile for school somehow. Stop. You know, like, oh, you know, like, I don't know if this is a thing for other people, but I remember when I was back in high school, for your yearbook photo, you could like do like a normal photo, and then you could also do like a styled photo or whatever. So you could, like, you know, bring in your own clothes, like not just like the graduation gowns, but, you know, like wear your own thing or whatever. You could like coordinate with other people and stuff. It's just like, you know, nice how he's like graduating high school. I was like, okay, what do you want to do for your styled photo or whatever? And then he just brings in this throne, and then he just sits down and he's just like, take the picture, and he's like, what? He's like, you better edit some fire around this. And like, he's like, the photographer's just like, oh, okay, it'll cost extra. He's like, do it. Like, okay, I'll do it. I'm sorry, Night. I guess I still have some Naruto bully genes still left in me. The bully has not left me entirely. Oh, jeez. Anyway.
Short Soul, Histoire de Vampire, and the first Navi stream, a stream dedicated
the
to
Navi
releasing
streams
updates on the game, which revealed
Legendary.
some of the most important information we'd gotten thus far.
Listen up.
The bands have pets! I'll introduce them later on in the video, but let me just say that they are all precious, and I want all the pet plushies they've shown off in streams. Please! Ponchan!
And then this became a reality! They listened! I was so happy about that. When I saw that they were like actually making like legit Ponchan and Yanko plushies, I was like, they really did it! They actually did it! Oh my god! I was like shook to my core. I was so happy. Like, oh my god! Look at this! They're real and I can purchase them for monetary value!
Before I continue, I should mention that Double A Side was actually supposed to release in the latter half of 2020, but the game was pushed back until 2021 due to quality improvements.
Ah yes, this part. Rest in peace, Double A Side. Oh, hello, welcome! Thank you so much for joining! Yeah, oh my gosh, I can't, like, just thinking back, like, hindsight's always 2020, and now looking back at it and seeing, like, you know, they pushed back Double A Side by a few months, and when it was really supposed to be, like, in 2020, I'm like, okay, it's obvious something was, like, going on. Obviously, we didn't know, like, the aspects of how much was going on, but there was something going on, and now it's completely obvious what was going on, so... Cries.
Hence the start of the Navi stream series. It was pretty disappointing, but looking on the bright side, that meant there was more time to work on the game, and it could get the spotlight it deserved, with Project Sekai and D4DJ having also come out around this time.
Ah, yes.
October 10th held live Royal
September
Fest
was a
at
very
Tokyo
busy
Garden
month.
Theater, where all 5 bands performed original songs to not only a live audience, but simultaneously streamed a paid live feed that would broadcast in the US, Thailand, Korea, Singapore, Australia, Canada, and Taiwan, as well as Japan.
Yay.
While there was no official backing...
Okay, so this segment was the last part I worked on this video. This was the last thing I had to gather all, like, the videos and stuff and edit everything together, because I was trying to be like, okay, how much of this footage am I going to actually need, and, like, how much is like, this whole time... like segment spanning to, because I was like, okay, how do I get like somewhat even amount of like time for each band while also like staying within the time limit of how much I'm talking. So when I finally got all the footage together and I finally edited the way that I wanted to, and it was completely finished, I just kind of remember just sitting back and just being like, oh my god, I finished the video. What? And then I rewatched it a few times and made some more edits, because I'm a little particular when it comes to timing. It's a really bad habit of mine that I'm very meticulous about timing about stuff. So I went back and I like, you know, just went through every single frame, be like, okay, this needs to be like 8 millisecond ahead or a millisecond behind, or like 2 milliseconds behind, or something like that. So then I went through the video again, and then I was like, okay, this is done. How was this done? Like this part, whenever I watched it, like back then, I was like, wow, this is the last thing I worked on before the video was finished. So weird.
band for the double A-side exclusive bands akin to the third from Garupa, Nakajima Yoshiki was joined by fellow cast member Sakai Kodai.
Oh my gosh.
Arthur was accompanied
it's so
by
weird to see Epsi and Fudai without their backing bands. And then Phantom Iris. And they're not wearing face masks. They're wearing like eye masks. Like well, I guess they're face masks too, but not like, you know, mouth face masks. They're like, you know, over the eyes, like masquerade masks and stuff. Which is, it's like, whoa, how long has it been since we've seen their mouths?
Made up of former Visual K band members. The announcement of Bushiroad Rockfest 2020.
Rest in peace, Bushiroad Rockfest. We have not heard from you since.
Featuring Raz,
gosh darn,
Jaraxia, Rondo, and then later Phantom Iris was also announced at this time. Just before all the cast members came back on stage to sing a 5-vocalist 2-band version of Double A-side.
Man, 5-vocalist 2-band version of Double A-side versus 5-band 6-vocalist. 25 members? 26 members? How many members were there? I can't remember how many members there are. There's so many members of this project now. But like, you know, like when they sang Goal Line at the end of From Margot 2022 Live, that was a busy stage. There was so much going on, but they all sounded in sync and it was all cohesive, one unit thing. And everybody singing Goal Line was so good. I never imagined I get to hear Gakkun singing Goal Line. That was like, oh my god, this is real. It sounded so good. I was like, yes, thank you, thank you, thank you. All my dreams have come true. Oh. Again, literally day and night from, you know, Live Royal Fest 2020 to From Margot 2022. Just the stark differences. Like, oh my god! Oh my god! They've grown so much! I'm so proud!
Unfortunately, Bushiroad Rockfest was also postponed, and as of right now, there's been no confirmation of a rescheduled date.
And there still hasn't. And I don't think there ever will be, if I'm being honest.
October 26th.
Oh yeah, this part. For some reason, I said 26, but it was actually the 25th when I actually looked at the visual again. And I was like, oh crap! But I wasn't about to go back and re-record it, so I'm just like, this is the best I got. I'm sorry, y'all.
Brought Fujin Rising's short soul Furai Jokyo Monogatari and the second volume of the Navi Stream series, where we got a sneak peek at Furai's band story, their daily life, and some of the part-time jobs they could work.
So fun. So cute.
November 7th held AGF's 2020 live info stream, where Double A-side's 35-minute segment gave us the game opening, with more gameplay, amazing animation,
everybody was losing their mind over this PV.
Needless to say, navigators were floored when this dropped. Like Naita in the CG.
This is the second Naita bully moment. I was like, I can't let this opportunity pass me. This is too good of an opportunity to let slip by. I have to make a joke about this. Because everyone was like Naita beatboxing memes. So I was like, okay, I gotta include this. I have to include this. There's no way I can't include this. Oh, wait. Oops, hold on, I muted the video when I said I muted the video when I tried to press the spacebar. My bad.
Needless to say, navigators were floored when this dropped. Like Naita in the CG. Too soon?
Too soon! I was like, I swear I love him, I just bully him. That was part of my brand back then. I bullied Naita with love. And now I don't really do that anymore, but you know, it's obviously still funny to me. So.
November 29th held Jaraxia's Short Soul Preface and Navi Stream Volume 3, where they showed the rest of the pets and the adventure part of the game. You'll be able to select different quests for the characters to complete, whether it be a part-time job, live show prep, or even taking a rest.
Oh, me explaining old Double A-side mechanics.
You can actually overwork your boys and send them to the hospital.
This part, wait!
It's kind of funny.
Oh yeah, and I was like, I saw like people like posting like hospital memes. I'm like, hey, can I take a screenshot of this and put it in my video? Because I think it's hilarious, and I just want to be like, okay, this is everybody. This is everybody making fun of it.
And yes, it is possible to put all.
And yes, this is my screen cap. I accidentally did this and I felt so bad. I was like, wait, I didn't know you could put them all in the hospital at the same time. Oh no! And as you can see from the times, Ren went in the hospital first, and then I don't know what I did afterwards, but then everybody else went to the hospital. It's like, oh no, what have I done?
All 5 members of a band in the hospital at once. They also confirmed that Double A side would release in January of 2021, though a confirmed date hadn't been set. On December 9th, the joint omnibus album featuring Phantom Iris, Fujinizing, and F5 was released and printed in 3 different versions.
This is my birthday present for the year. I was like, well,
depending on what you purchase, you will get a different cover song and an extra original song and voice drama along with the originals that come in all 3. And if you purchase all 3 albums, you will receive a Blu-ray of Soul Destiny Rock Face. December 20.
I feel like everybody misses putting the boys in the hospital. I learned people were a bit more sadistic than I realized. So I was like, oh, people enjoy putting the boys in the hospital. Interesting. just gonna, you know, keep that for future reference. So stay away from y'all. Is at a respectable distance. We will see each other. We'll wave to each other, but I will not get too close to you. Just looking out for myself.
26 held Argo Novice's short soul Fuyubare no Serendipity in the 4th volume of the Navi series, where they showed off the.
I love this Sound Only Live so much. It's like I love the storyline. I love Pon-chan. I love Wataru worrying about Ren and Ren being like, oh, I'm sorry, thank you for, like, you know, looking out for me, and Wataru's like, it's no problem, whatever, and stuff. And then the whole thing with like Banri's like looking for his like key or something for his like his piggy bank that his siblings got for him. He doesn't want to break it open, but it's got like all his money in it and stuff, and he just feels really like, you know, kind of tense about it and everything. And then like the whole set list, like, oh my gosh, it was so good. And then we all thought, like, at least like a lot of people that I was like, you know, talking to the time and like saw a lot of were like, oh, it's probably gonna be, you know, Stand By Me is the new single or whatever, because like, you know, with each like Sound Only Live they had like a new single that they released just digitally. But then they played Stand By Me as like the 2nd or 3rd song, and I was like, oh, hold up. So it's not Stand By Me. Then what is it? I mean, I was like, you know, so into Stand By Me. I was like, this song is bopping. I love this. But I was like, wait, what's the new song gonna be? And then they played Kuchizka Diamond and then Starlight Parade right after, and I was absolutely destroyed. I was like, oh, I really hope they played like Kuchizka Diamond or Starlight Parade, because like, you know, they hadn't put like they hadn't like, you know, shown anything with like Starlight Parade. They just like said that, oh, it's gonna be in the game. So I was like, oh, I hope they put in Starlight Parade and stuff. And then they decided to just put one after the other. I was like just dead. I had passed away. I was tweeting from the grave. I was just raving with the spirits. I was like, this is amazing. And then they ended it all off with Restart, which then apparently became like the rebirth anime anthem for the project. So foreshadowing much? It's a little bit too much of a coincidence. But I was just absolutely like floored by Restart. I was like, oh my gosh, Balago Nav is real. Holy crap, this is beautiful. I love this. And just, oh, it was so cute. I love this Sound Only Live. I sometimes go back to the audio drama just to be like watching Ren get lost at Shibuya station and finding Pon-chan and watching him and like, wait, where's Ren? And then Rio's like, he's right over there. Oh wait, he's not there. And I was like, what? Oh, I love it. So sweet. So sweet.
Scouting, as well as some other features like training and grade up. January 9th, 2021 held the Double A side New Year's event. The stream featured all the series of Argo Novice.
Look at how chunky Johnny is. Like, what? I love the scaling of the pets because, like, you know, cheaps and stuff. But then the pets aren't like, they're like, I guess, more to scale than like obviously the characters are. So they look ginormous in comparison. Especially this chunky lad. Like, look at him. He's so round. Round. Look at that. Chunk.
Jeraxia, and the vocalists of the other 3 bands. The cast played some of the game, did some scouting, did a read-through of a special New Year's drama, and finally, after several months of waiting,
Double A side
was scheduled for release on January 14th. And I couldn't be happier.
Oh me, you would not believe your eyes if 10 million fireflies lit up the world as I fell asleep. This did not age well.
Which brings us to our final point. January 13th held Live Royal Fest Seoul starting live and Navi Extreme, where some of the cast members from all 5 bands played a bit of the game and showed us some of the initial card art that would be available to scout for as they waited for the servers to go up the next day. And throughout that time, they did so many things that I didn't even touch on.
He really is inflated as a balloon. I support that.
Streams, 3 radio shows, cafe and
wait, hold on. I'm just gonna go back real quick.
Including digital singles, acoustic.
Okay. I don't care what anybody says. Ren is a penguin boy. He is literally a penguin boy. I cannot stress this any further. Like how, you know, Yuto's a dog boy, and then Ryo's, I guess, an owl boy. Ren is a penguin boy! He is canonically a... Okay, anyways.
Live streams,
that's all I wanted to say.
Radio shows, cafe and instrument collaborations. Heck, they even have their own gallery showing, and so much more. Again, I would have loved to include everything, but if I did, we'd be here for hours, and you and my 6-year-old laptop can only handle so much.
Please, I need a new laptop so badly. Well, past me, you did it. You got a new laptop, and you're doing great things with it. Well, yeah. Anyways.
But looking through everything again has made me realize how much they've accomplished, especially in the latter half of 2020.
Yeah, same. I want to say, like, I mean, with Battery, I guess we can kind of, you know, infer that, like, you know, he'd be a cow. But Wataru is kind of a mystery. I've always thought that he'd be cute as an otter. You know, like, Otaru? Otaru! I don't know. I think that'd be really fun. But, like, I don't know. What other kind of animals would Wataru be? Wataru? What kind of animals would Wataru be? What kind of animals would Wataru possibly be? I mean, some people, you know, like refer to him as a cat boy because he's got like that little cat grin and stuff. And I mean, I see that too. But if we don't want to like double dip on the animals, because you know, Nayuta, resident cat. Yeah, I don't know. Otaru, yeah, right. Otaru is so cute. I need Otaru. Otaru. You know, he's like an aquatic animal too and stuff, and he likes collecting things and, you know, smashing clams on his stomach and whatever. Not that a canon Wataru does that, but yeah, you know how otters be. So what otters do? I don't know. Correct me if I'm wrong. But I think, you know, Otaru would be so cute.
So proud of them. And I'm sure by the time this
Me
comes
too.
out,
I can't remember the context of what I was saying, but I'm proud of them too.
This will be way out of date.
So yeah, I was like, there's gonna be more things. They've probably announced some more things. I'm not gonna talk about them because this video is never going to end. It's never gonna get out if I do. So I'm just gonna put this out, and you can do with the information what you will, and we'll just go from there. So, oh my gosh, this is so. I can't believe this was all like new at the time, and now it's like, no. Great explanation stories, 10 out of 10.
But let's move on to a specific part of the timeline, something that was much anticipated by the fandom and perhaps the gateway to getting into the project, the anime.
Ah, yes, the anime. So, this was, okay,
the Argo
so
Novus anime
for this video, I essentially had like two really long segments and then two really short segments. The anime being one of them because, you know, I didn't have much to say about the anime because, like, if I did, well, essentially that turned into that 6-hour anime watch-along stream, so, I'm kind of glad I didn't give, like, my full opinions on the anime, because that would have been, way too long, and, I wanted to give a good first impression, and me just, you know, giving all my criticisms about the anime was not what I wanted to do in this first impressions video, so.
Started on April 10th and finished on July 3rd, running for 13 episodes. The anime was in the care of Sanzigen, a studio that specializes in 3D animation. The studio has also animated for the Bandori anime seasons 2 and 3, D4DJ, and cutscenes from Fire Emblem Three Houses.
When I found that out, I was like, I'm sorry, what? There's some weird link connection between Fire Emblem and Argonavis, and I was like, wait, Violet kind of looks like Red in a weird, strange, sort of like, not really, but kind of ish way. I think it was the eye shape. That kind of was like, I don't know. So
the synopsis from My Anime List
also,
goes as follows.
I just looked at the timer, and I've been going for almost 2 hours, and I didn't want to be going on for 2 hours, and we're not even like halfway through the video.
Most of his days searching for his own identity. One day, while singing karaoke alone, two boys named Yuto and Wataru discover Ren's singing ability. The two agree. This is fate. Let's start a band. Ren promptly runs away, but fate indeed steps in, and their journey begins. The anime mainly focuses on Argonavis, with Jara Axia landing a supporting role, but all 5 bands make appearances towards the end of the anime. The theme of fate and fated encounters plays a huge role,
okay,
as well
so
as the idea of following
so I said, okay, this is a very weird pausing point before Ren kicks us in the face. So I said, Jara Axia plays like a very supporting role. Yes, Gyro does play a supporting role, but Naita is less support and more like, hey, I'm just gonna barge in and just kind of just be here and stuff. And the plot's okay with that, so I was like, that was one of the things I was like kind of about. So anyways,
versus following
I don't want to get too caught up in my anime criticisms again, because if I do, this video will go on for a while, and I don't want it to go on for longer than it really has to.
Most of which are either included in Argonavis' first album or Jara Axia's first single. Now, I want to give some of my opinions on how I feel about the anime.
These are very tame. This was very tame. I wanted to give like more opinionated opinions on this,
totally fine.
But then I was like, no, I can't do that. So I toned it down a lot.
Anticipating the anime since its announcement, what did I think of it? Well, okay, here's the thing. I was hyped about this anime. I had been waiting for months for an announcement, and when they finally gave us one, I was so happy. And in the beginning, I really liked it.
That's true. When I first watched it, like the first episode, I thought it was a little bit rushed, but I was like, oh, this is cool. I like this. And there's a lot of potential for things that can happen. And then episode 2 happened. I was like, oh, I wish they didn't do that. And then episode 3 happened. I was like, okay, this is, And then episode 4 happened. That's when my disappointment really started showing. I was like, this is what they're doing with the anime? What? Why? And then it just kept getting worse from there. Except episode 11. Episode 11 is my favorite episode. It's like everything I wanted and wished the whole anime could be, but it was only one episode. And I was just like, why can't we have more of this? So.
But then I went
again, I'm not going to talk too much about that. I'm going to get too into it, and no one wants to hear that.
Hating it, and now just kind of accepting it for what it is. Although I'd be lying if I said I didn't talk about the things that bothered me from time to time, even now.
That still rings true today. That aged very well.
Basically, if you asked me whether or not I liked the anime, overall, I would say I didn't. However, that doesn't mean
if I ever work for Argo Pro, I can be in charge of the anime remake, the Pujugonavis anime, and other stuff. Oh my gosh, that'd be such a dream. But I'd have to delete my channel first. I can't let them know I've talked about all this stuff. I have to give a good first impression. If they found out that I've been criticized. Hold on, I'll get back to what I was saying. But what part?
You know I go back to episode 13 for a very specific scene.
I do go back to episode 13 for this specific scene, because this is what I've been waiting for literally 13 episodes, and then they just, were like, finally, like, okay, hey, I'm gonna go home. Okay, see you later. Wait, actually, can I stay over at your place? I don't want you to, you look really sad and I don't want you to like be sad anymore. And then they were just talking and I was like, oh my God, is this happening? And I remember specifically, I was at work. I wasn't able to watch the episode at the time, but I saw that like Twitter was kind of on fire and I was like, excellent. Then someone had added me and it's like, Stories, I was watching the episode and there was a part that reminded me of you. And or like, it made me think of you and I was like, that's very ominous. What does that mean? And then I watched it, I was like, oh, I understand what you were talking about. Thank you. I was so excited. You have no idea. I was so sad that they didn't actually show the lyric writing, and I will preach this until it happens. Please show Ren and Wataru writing lyrics together. Please. I don't want it to jump cut from before they start to after they're finished. Show us the process. Please. And there's I'll scream for. Please. It can't be that hard to show the process of the writing lyrics together. Come on. So, anyways, my apologies.
And while I had a lot of issues with it, I can definitely understand how others would have different views on it than I do. Especially if the anime was their introduction to the project.
I need my critique.
There's only so much that can be accomplished in 13 episodes.
Well, first I need to learn Japanese. And then we'll talk after
what I was able to do, I can respect that. Would I recommend watching it? Well, I'd say give it a shot if you think you'd be interested.
Yeah, this part, I was like, it's like, would I recommend watching it? Initially, I was gonna be like, no, but then I was like, okay, I may not have liked it, but there were a lot of other people who did like it, enjoyed it, and didn't like see eye to eye with my criticisms, which is totally fine. It's totally fine. If you like the anime, that's awesome. I'm happy for you. So I was like, you know what? It's kind of like a case by case sort of thing. Like if that's like, if this kind of like, you know, storyline is your thing, you'll definitely enjoy it. And if you're more like me and you have like issues with some of the certain ways that the story was going to be handled, you probably weren't going to enjoy it. So I was like, just check it out for yourselves. If you can, just watch it and see if you like it. Then if you like it, you like it. If you don't, then you don't. Like, that's just how life works. So,
as I mentioned, it's the easiest way to get introduced to the project as a whole and get interested in the other media within it. And it's an important part of the project too. It's Argonavis' first animated introduction. And it would be kind of sad to see it fall to the wayside the way Bandori Season 1 did. Of course, it would make things a lot easier if the anime was more accessible
more of the sass that I just sprinkled into the video.
Considering it's only legally available to watch on the Muse Asia YouTube channel, which is only accessible in Southeast Asia.
That's part.
Bushi, I know you have an international Argonavis fan base. I know you know!
I know you know!
So I've been named...
I was like, Bushi, please, if by some miracle you end up seeing this video, please hear my plead. Make the anime more accessible to everybody. It's like, yes, I just gave like all these criticisms on it, but that doesn't mean I don't want other people to see it. I want it to be more widely available.
Dropping characters and bands left and right this whole video, and you're probably thinking, Stories, I have no idea who you're talking about. And that's exactly what we're getting into next. The characters.
The characters. Let's Again, and then this is like the second longest segment.
Until November of 2019. From there, 2 new bands were announced, followed by 2 more the next year.
Yay.
With 25 main members in total as of now and the foreseeable future. Each band has their own distinct genre and theme, reflected in their music and clothing style, as well as the personalities of the members themselves. Let's start with the main boys in question, Argonavis.
My boys!
Argonavis is a youth rock band created by 5 first-year university students, all residing in the city of Hakodate, Hokkaido. Each member has their own personal struggles, but when brought together by what their leader calls fate, they aim for success as pros. Their music is melodic and uplifting, combining poetic lyrics and beautiful piano phrases.
I was actually so worried about like this part here, because like, you know, there's, you know, copyright music in the background. I was like, is this gonna be okay? Because like it was only the short versions of like all the songs, because I just had them on me for some reason. I can't remember. I know I'm trying to remember. I can't remember. Like I know for certain I had a double A side Manifesto and Gino Yuri short versions. I can't remember where I got the food Banzai Rising and Hikari no Akuma short versions. Maybe they were on some other like bonus CDs that I got. I honestly can't remember at this point. My brain is so frazzled. But I was like, I wasn't sure if like just having the short versions would be like okay. But evidently they were okay. And I think because I was talking so much and the music was so quiet, like it didn't really register or pick up or anything with like the copyright or whatever thing was going on. So I was like, I'll take it.
Nana Hoshiren, first-year law student and Argo Novice's vocalist.
These visuals for like all the character profiles took so freaking long, and like I had to like I went on the wiki and I was like, okay, I need like assets to like make everything unified. I need help. So a lot of the assets came from the wiki, and like I was like, thank bless.
Search for that something by singing at karaoke alone. Goryo Yuto, first-year literature student and Argo Novice's guitarist and leader, voiced by Hyuga Daisuke.
There was one time like when I was editing this, and I forgot to add like the one here, so it just said he was 18 centimeters. I was like, wait, he's not tiny. He's one of the tallest boys in this freaking project. And like that was like that was in like one of the first drafts of the video, so like I almost didn't catch it. So that would have been so infuriating.
The person who always strives to believe things will work out. A bit brash, but friendly and sociable. This positive mindset, however, masks a fragility.
I had to cut down these profiles so much because like I had like a lot to say about Argo Novice and a bit more about Gyraxium, and then not a lot for all the other characters. I'm like, I can't have Argos be like 2 minutes. I have to cut them down because otherwise people are going to tune out and they're not going to catch any of what I said. But I just need the important points for each of these characters.
And countering Yuto's positive remarks, only because he wants this band to succeed.
18 centimeter Yuto, it's in the palm of your hand. I just hit my mic again with my headphones. I need to stop doing that.
Kikyoryo, first-year political economy student and Argo Novice's keyboardist and composer, voiced by Morishima Shuta. Often referred to as a genius, he can pretty much do anything and has many
genius
things
boy, we love to see it.
No interest in pursuing any of them seriously, playing into his love-hate relationship with himself.
I also tried to avoid giving like anime spoilers in this because I was gonna be like, due to his like injury in baseball, I was like, I'll just like leave it as like he's got like some complex issues with himself, so it's like if people want to explore the anime for themselves,
Banri is very no-nonsense and pragmatic while still having an open and energetic personality. His ultimate goal is to make money, but he's not greedy by any means. Family is very important to him.
Okay, so this point, like, this doesn't have to do with like the video, but just like in general for like me trying to figure out Banri's character. When I first like was like exploring like the Argo characters and stuff, I was like, okay, I kind of have like an idea of like what everybody's like, but Banri kind of confused me because like he was described as the moon maker, but then he was also described as like very pragmatic, and I was like, what? That feels like two very kind of conflicting personality points. At least I couldn't see like how they put like 2 and 2 together and stuff. And then like the whole money thing, I was like, that's a very interesting character profile for him. But then once I started to kind of see him more in action, I was like, oh wait, that's how this works. Because like he's like very like kind of stern business kind of dude or whatever, but he's also very family oriented, and like the reason he wants to make money is like not for like his own personal gain, but to be like supportive of like the people that supported him the most. So that's why he's very smart about things, but he also like cares about like other people, and he's not gonna be like stingy just for like the sake of being stingy. He's stingy because like he wants to be smart about things, and he wants to make sure that like they're gonna be well taken care of and they're not just like spending willy-nilly. They're like they've got a plan. So once I kind of like fit that into like his character, and I put 2 and 2 together, I was like, oh, I get it. And then the anime happened, and I was like, oh yeah, that's why he's the mood maker, because when stuff happens to him, the mood is made, my dudes. It is made. Ay.
And he believes in chasing your dreams while being grounded in reality. But of course, they have one more special member, their pet. Ponchan, a sweet male Pomsky red found abandoned in Shibuya. A bit clumsy and kind of dumb, but loved all the same. Next is Gyro
yes.
a mixed rock band originally based in Sapporo before moving to Tokyo.
Okay, for Gyro, I was trying so hard to be like, okay, what is their band genre described as? Because like, I can infer it's like a sort of like a punk rock sort of thing, but like, did they have any other like specific descriptors? Like, you know, Fandomires had, you know, Visual K. Fudai was like, you know, ska, and then I think maybe like also punk ska, and then I don't know what's going on, Epsi. At one point they were, you know, like techno pop, and then next they were being described as alternative rock. Now I'm just like, they're both. I don't know what their official descriptor is. They're both essentially at this point. So I was like trying so hard to be like, okay, what is Gyro's like specific genre of like music? And to this day, I don't exactly know, but I've kind of got like, you know, this idea in my head. It's like, okay, they're like a punk rock with a bit of like rap, screamo, maybe new metal sort of thing. And obviously, you know, with freestyle, they've kind of, you know, expanded their genre a little bit more. But that's essentially the idea of like gyro that I have in my head right now. So
composed of 5 university students. They play hard and accept nothing less at the accordance of their tyrant lead singer. They're regarded as the kings, the unmatched champions, and are aiming for the world.
And these jokes have stuck so well throughout the entirety of the fandom being the fandom. I'm so shook at this point that it's still a thing.
First-year law student and Gyro
FC genre is just FC at this point. Honestly, you're so right.
Nayuta is, well, a perfectionist in the nicest sense.
Wait, actually, no, there's 4 bully points. There's one later on, and oh my gosh, I bullied him in like almost every single segment. Apart from the anime segment, I bullied him in every single segment of this video. Naruto, I'm sorry! He's a perfectionist in the nicest sense. Oh my god, Naruto, I'm sorry! I'm sorry! I'm horrible. At least I'm not a Naruto stan. Actually, it would make more sense if I was a Naruto stan, because Naruto stans love to bully him. I am not a Naruto stan. I love him, but I'm not a Naruto stan. So it makes me look worse.
Also regarded as a genius and aiming for the top regarding his music, he demands perfect performances every time, and isn't afraid to kick out anyone if they can't keep up. He's very focused on his goals and will stop at nothing to achieve them.
I'm sorry, y'all. I'm
Third-year
sorry.
business administration student and Gyro Axio's guitarist and leader, voiced by Hashimoto Shinichi. Calm
It's
and
just
collected,
too
sparing no expense
easy.
to make sure
It's
Gyro
just,
Axio
like,
is
I'm
at its
not the
best
type of
for
person to
Nayuta's
bully,
sake.
but this
He's
is just
seemingly
low-hanging
thrown his
fruit at this
humanity away
point.
for
It's
Nayuta,
too
and while
easy
he's
to
very
bully him.
nurturing,
I'm sorry.
He can be quite cold and even cruel at times. Kenta is also the older brother of Wataru. Their
is the
parents got
nicest way of
divorced when
putting
they were
it.
younger, and Kenta decided to live with their mother, while Wataru lived with their father, taking separate last names as a result. Misono Reon, first-year literature student and Gyro Axio's second guitarist, voiced by Mano Takumi. He's a serious and philosophical guy who believes in hard work and practicing, and is the
When I saw his silhouette for the first time, I was looking at it, I was like, I don't know why, but I think I'm gonna like this guy. And then, like, his character reveal, I'm like, oh yeah, I like him. I like him a lot. And we're also trying to, like, figure out who is Wataru's brother. We initially thought the bassist was gonna be, you know, Wataru.
He's an alien.
Wataru's brother.
Do we actually know if he's
we
an alien
obviously
or not?
figured out
Nope, and it
that
doesn't
wasn't
matter.
the case.
He is the alien boy. That's that. He was sent to Earth as punishment for the sins he committed on his homeworld, and won't return until he's able to make someone on Earth happy.
Okay, that take. I did that as a joke take. I did that as a joke. I wasn't gonna use it, but then I was listening to my other takes, and I hated all my other takes except this one. So I was like, okay, fine, I'll use it. But it ended up working out. It kind of, you know, matches his whole vibe going on. So it kind of, I was just like, oh yeah, sure, whatever, it's fine. Like, I was gonna say more normal, but then I didn't like how I said it, and then this one was all dramatic, and then it worked, so...
He's a special kind of genius, one who is able to keep up with Nayuta and the others without much effort. Takagawa Miyuki, third-year dentistry student and Jara Axia's drummer.
I said this earlier a while ago, but it feels so weird to see Miyuki wearing his jacket normally because this is what I've been used to seeing for the past 2 years. He's just wearing it over his shoulders and we just see his red shirt. Like seeing like the stripes on his arms, I'm like, that doesn't look right. Nyanko!
The original pet
Hi Nyanko! I like how it says confidential in like the corner, even though it's like it was shown on screen.
Personality and a bit snobbish. Next is Phantom Iris, a visual K band from Nagoya with a Victorian
it's the vampires.
The only ones with stage names and personas. All their members are working adults and have the oldest members in the game as of right now. They combine elegance with the complexity of visual K, drawing us into the world they created through their music. Felix Louis Claude Mondor.
Okay, this is like, so for all the profiles, I put last name, first name, but for this one, I was like, when does his first name end and his last name begin? So I just put it like so. I was like, I'm not gonna mess this up. I don't know what his last name technically is, because it's just like a bazillion names. I can't tell. So I mean, like, you know, there's like first, middle, last names, but I don't know which one starts and one begins. Like, and there's just so many names. Help. So I'm just gonna leave it as is.
Or Felix, a 30-year-old French language teacher and Phantom Iris's vocalist, lyricist, and leader, voiced by Lounsbury Arthur. He comes from an aristocratic family located in France. He's seen as a bit strange, but does his own thing without paying attention to those who find him weird. His stage persona is the vampire lord Felix, who wishes to bring peace between humans and vampires. Kurokawa Tomoru, or Light, a 20-year-old medical systems
Phantom Iris boy, and look at him!
Guitarist, voiced by Wada Masa. He's a workaholic and refers to himself as a corporate slave, working himself to the point of complete exhaustion. He's often seen with an energy drink and hates being woken up early in the mornings. His stage persona is a
I love that like a lot of people associate energy drinks with Jun, even though canonically Tomoru is like the energy drink like gremlin. It's just because he's like, you know, Zach has like, you know, the gamer energy and stuff. You automatically associate gamers with energy drinks.
Maintain a positive attitude despite it. He's the only member who doesn't have a regular job, having quit as a sales rep after only 1 year. His stage persona is a vampire named Zack, who is recruited by Felix after being cast aside, one who is incredibly loud and aggressive to the point that he swears excessively. Mitsurugi Koharu, or Haru.
Okay, there was gonna be one part I put in after his profile, because I was editing my script in like Google Docs, and for some reason, I don't know why, Google wanted me to correct swears to sweats. So the sentence would have been to the point that he sweats excessively. And I was gonna put that in as a screen cap and be like, this is what Google thought I wanted to say. But then I was like, nah, I'm not gonna put that in there. That's kind of unnecessary. But I still think about it sometimes. Sweaty gamer Zach. Oh my god.
A 32-year-old daycare worker and Phantom Iris's bassist, voiced by Yonaga Tsubasa. He's one of the oldest members of the band, along with his childhood friend Diamond. Rough and manly with a bit of a mouth on him, but has a caring side as well. When he was younger, he was a delinquent known as the Mikawa Tiger, who found himself at the police station a few too many times, but decided to change his ways. His stage persona is a female vampire named
I feel honored to share a Zodiac with him.
Felix's legion after coming to understand his views.
So pretty, what the heck?
Kusunoki Diamond, or D, a 32-year-old cafe owner and Phantom Iris' drummer,
D.
voiced by
so
Ayukawa
sweet.
Tayo. He's a scary-looking,
like after the Unmiseria story, I just really fell for him more. He's just, oh, I love him.
And would often pick him up from the police station. He also works as
He's
a night
so
guard at his
tender and
cafe,
caring and sweet.
His stage persona is a human priest named D, who accidentally summons Felix and decides to join him as his way of taking responsibility. With them is Johnny, a shy hedgehog owned by Jun and brought with him from Nagoya. Loves carrots and is named after Jun's favorite guitarist. Next is Fuji Naizen.
The boys, it's the Fry Boys. Let's go.
With their key instruments as the saxophone and trombone, their music is bright, energetic,
I don't know if you can tell, but like for the intros of each band, I tried to match like the energy of each band with like my voiceover. I don't know if that was very apparent, but I tried.
Fun and good times. They're also the only band to discuss their lyrics together rather than designating a single person. Kaminoshima Futa, first-year literature student and Fuji Rising's vocalist and saxophonist, voiced by Nakajima
my original favorite from
known as Nagasaki
Fudai.
Sunshine. Futa is also known to be a hyper and naive emotional guy who ends up getting himself into trouble with his impulsive behavior. But he cares for his bandmates a lot and wants to make others smile. His saxophone is also very
like so full of angst. Like, what? We're just here for a good time. Why are you making us sad?
Literature student and
It's my boy! It's my boy from Fudai!
Literally described as a cool and
he literally came out of nowhere for me. After like the third chapter of like the Fudai band story, I was sold on Yamato. I love him so much.
I
can't wait for more development for him. He's so funny and he's so sweet.
Tokyo at the beginning of high school.
Oh yeah, there was also like a lot of things that I got incorrect about this because I thought he transferred there at the beginning of high school, but no, it was the beginning of university, I think, or something. So there was a lot of like edits in the comments edits that I made in the comments. Be like, by the way, this is the stuff that I got wrong. Just look at this, please. Don't refer to this specific part of the video. Just look in the comments, please. I'm sorry, I got this wrong. That also makes me cringe. So I was like, oh, how did I get that wrong?
Voiced by Abe Atsushi. Being the eldest of the band and the childhood friends, Kohei is referred to as Koni or Koni-chan by the others, aside from Yamato. Trustworthy, strong, and a hard worker, he looks out for everyone. Though he's a bit of a disaster with electronics, and the others have to keep him away from spicy food for fear of his shift in personality because of it.
Ah, yes.
Wakakusa Ali, first-year literature student and Fuji Rising's trombonist and sometimes keyboardist.
You were my best boy in Fudai for like the longest time until the game came out. I'm so sorry. I still love you though.
However, he's quite responsible and is usually the one looking out for the others along with Kohei. More like scolding them. And has a big heart. Goto Misaki, first-year economics student and Fuji Rising's drummer, voiced by Yoshino Hiroyuki. One look and you think he was a rough kind of guy, but Misaki's very down-to-earth and straightforward and quite intelligent, despite being part of the Spvwvky trio with Futa and Yamato.
Ah yes, the Spvwvky trio we love.
We love. Due to him being bullied.
So, when we learned that his hair is actually supposed to be blonde, this does not look blonde. We're all just like, I'm sorry, what? He's what? What? We all learned that apparently if you say something is a certain color, even if it looks like a different color, it's supposed to be that other color. That's supposed to be so we're just like, what? I still can't believe to this day that he's actually supposed to be blonde. Like, that doesn't make any sense to me.
When he was younger and wanting to change his image. Brought into this chaotic household is their pet Rex, an iguana Yamato.
It's so funny because like my aunt and uncle, they have a dog named Rex. It's this huge like labradoodle something, I don't know. It's a long dog with long legs, very tall, very big, very loud. My cat is terrified of him. So every time I just hear the name Rex, I just think like, oh, it's my cousin's dog, and also this lovely lad of a reptile, or I'm sorry, a dinosaur.
Found and decided to keep just because. Likes to sit on his hat and won't be held by Kohei. Yamato also believes he'll become a—
Okay, this part. Okay, so I was researching this, trying to figure out, okay, who thought that Rex was going to turn into a dinosaur? There were 2 threads about like the Fudai live streams where they had like the info for all this, and one of them said Yamato, the other one said Misaki, but the first one I saw was Yamato, so I thought it was Yamato, but then I realized no, like after the fact when I uploaded the video, I was like, no, it was actually Misaki who thought it was gonna be turned into a dinosaur or whatever, and I was like, no, I had Misaki first and then I changed it to Yamato, but it was actually Misaki all along. No, so I was very sad about that. So it is Misaki who thought Rex was gonna turn into a dinosaur, not Yamato. Yamato did not think about that, I don't think.
A dinosaur someday, hence the name. Yamato, why?
No, it's not Yamato. I'm sorry, Yamato, for the slander. It's not you. It's
Finally, we have Epsilon Phi, an alternative rock band from Kyoto consisting of high
the sad teenagers, we love to see it.
Vocalists at the forefront. Along with a second vocalist and synthesizer to set them apart, they perhaps have the darkest music, despite being the youngest. Ah, yes, the sweet smell of teen angst.
The sweet smell of teen angst. Moving on. I don't know why I said that.
Shu, middle school first year and Epsilon 5's vocalist, composer, lyricist, and leader, voiced by Sakaki Haruyuki. Described as an angelic young boy by many, in actuality, he's devilish.
I will say, this part, vegetables as a whole, dislikes. I can understand that. I'm also not a huge veggie fan. I admit that. I'm sorry, but they just don't really appeal to me. I try to eat my veggies, but like, you know, they're just things you don't like.
High school second year and Epsilon
It's my boy! It's my Epsi boy!
Another genius.
I love him.
Studies, sports, and
also, he initially was not my best Epsi boy, but then again, the game changed my mind. I was like, oh, wait, he's so sad. I love him.
Always irritated at the world around him. Nijo Kanata, high school second year and Epsilon 5 bassist, voiced by Ichikawa Taichi.
He reminds me of like when I started playing Twisted and I saw Cater for the first time. I was like, oh, it's Orange Kanata.
But he has a sort of twisted love
the same too.
He clings to him constantly, trying to keep him away from others to have him all to himself.
Call me KK if you're cray.
Kurama Tadami, I love that one. High school third year and Epsilon 5 synthesis, voiced by Minagi
Tadami was like my long-standing best Epsi boy for the longest time, and then Haruka was like, "Hi, I'm really sad," and I was like, "Oh hi, I will buy you all the ice cream you want."
To understand them better, he observes people and joins Epsilon 5.
And then Neji was my initial best boy from Epsi. It's so funny how Fudai and Epsi have similar, at least for me, similar best boy stories where I started initially with one and then I went to a different one for the longest time, and then the game came out and then I ended up liking a completely different boy from that band. And then those boys ended up like, you know, having like really interesting dialogue together. I was like,
kids deserve a trendy pet, right?
Okay.
Paru-chan, an axolotl owned by Kanata, though Reiji usually ends up taking care of him. Looks great in photos.
I love Paru-chan. Actually, I saw some art of someone had like what was it called, like a gajinka or I don't remember what it's called, but basically, you know, like a human version of like, you know, a non-human character or whatever. Someone made a human version of Paru-chan, and I thought it was so cute. He was like very handsome, very ikemen. I was like, oh, hello, Paru-chan. How are you? I'm gonna blow my nose again one more time and then we'll continue on this. Alright, we're back. I don't know why is it sometimes like I talk for a long period of time and I'm fine, but then other times it's like I'm going to clog up your entire sinus all up in that front business there, and you can't do anything about it. I'm like, why? Why? I don't get it. What am I doing? So, again, I apologize. Let's continue. Oh, there we go. No?
So,
there we go.
Any favorites so far? For me, I'm 500% an Argo Novice.
Oh yes, me being shameless about my faves. Let's go.
And still do to this day.
No, I had to be like, yes, the real Argo Novice, say real life Argo boys. Also me,
so
I also love them.
But every boy in Argo Novice is my best boy, honestly. Ren's just that special. And of course, I can't forget Ponchan.
Punch, my love!
I've ever seen. Oh my god! Outside of Argo Novice, I like Reon, Tomoru, Yamato, and Haruka.
So when I initially made this, I had these two switched out for Ali and Tadaomi, and then before I'd finish and upload the video, my faves changed, and I was like, oh crap, I gotta change these panels, and I gotta re-record this part. So then I was like, you know, Reon, Tomoru, Yamato, Haruka, and then I was like, wait a minute. There's something very similar about all of these boys. And I don't want to admit it. However.
Huh. It appears I might have a type.
And you know what that type is? They're all fanboys! Each and every single one of them is a freaking fanboy! Like, you know, Ren's got his tokusatsu, he's singing, like, you know, he's very fanatic about burgers and stuff. Rayon, he loves, like, you know, watching other bands and stuff and, like, being very passionate about, like, oh, look at this guy, he's, like, so cool and stuff! Tomaru! Okay, we obviously know what Tomaru is all about, you know, his Chunibyo, like, blah, 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 all that fun stuff. And then, you know, being a fan of Felix's old band and stuff. Yamato, he literally plays wrong-handed to match the guy that he wants to, like, you know, he admires as a guitarist and stuff. And then Haruka, he's very passionate about music, but he also, you know, he's like a tokusatsu fanboy, closet tokusatsu fanboy. So when that hit me, I was like, well, gosh, no wonder I like them all. I'm a passionate fan nerd. They're passionate fan nerds. It all makes sense.
But
yay!
Honestly speaking, I like everyone a lot.
Oh, they're also your faves too? Yes!
Where I didn't dislike or not
immaculate
care about
taste. We love to see it.
Good job, Argo Nova's project. So with all these characters and only a small cameo for the last 3 bands in the anime, a lot of navigators are eagerly awaiting for more information. So, let's talk about our final topic, the game.
Finally. We're almost there.
Double A's side was announced during Argonavis' 2019 info livestream. Earlier, I mentioned that it was originally slated for release
like
in the
10
second
more
half
minutes,
of
less than 10 minutes.
But it got delayed
I can get through this. I can do this. My parents are coming to my room saying, "Stories, you're being so loud. Shut up."
I'm sorry.
Meantime,
they gave us the Night series, where the cast teased new information about the game and shared small portions of gameplay and stories that would be featured. The stream would then become a weekly segment after the game's release.
I miss
Instead
Navi
of being
streams.
handled by
I miss
Craft
them
Egg like
so much.
Garupa, the game is in the care of DNA, which also handles
in
Pokemon
the care
Masters, among others.
was in the care of
The
DNA.
game synopsis goes as follows, translated by Estelle. It's a time where bands that burst out of Japan
I
are
love
holding
this PV.
activities
This one
overseas
is so
and
fun.
shining brightly like the stars.
That's so many, like, I love how they did like the live TV with it too. But it's like, if they could do this, why didn't they add that into the game? I was so confused. I'm like, these animations are so good. Why not implement them into the actual game? I hope the new game has live 2D. I miss live 2D. It's so good. Look at this. Look at this.
Money and support to head overseas. No band that has fallen out of the festival has ever been able to recontest in the live row.
Whoever did live 2D
for the sake of winning this once-in-a-lifetime chance, these bands are clashing on the stage of wild enthusiasm. The app is described as a rhythm adventure game combining quests in real time.
I don't want to be longer than 2 hours, and it has been way longer than 2 hours.
Characters will be sent to do different tasks chosen by the player in order to fulfill a given quest. The option to fast forward through these tasks
but I'll let the video play out. I'll try not to pause it too much.
Characters will also be able to interact
Also,
with each
I
other
recorded
during
all
these
this game
quests
footage on
and
my
area
iPad because I was like, I don't want to record this on my phone.
The game is also quite story-heavy.
I was like, oh no, I don't want like my account details being out there, but like obviously it didn't matter anyways.
Band stories and events. The rhythm gameplay is
and then this was like recorded with my phone because like, you know, it's just the in-game stuff, so I was like, it's fine.
Lose all your health.
But just like the perspectives, it's just like very apparent. Oh yes, the first time I played Root of Love, this was horrible. I still never full comboed Root of Love, which is infuriating because it was only level 23. How did I not full combo it?
One of the biggest differences, however, is the addition of 3D MVs and models to
the game. This PV, I was like, okay, what random characters can I put in that will make the least sense for this song? Oh yes.
While there are some similarities,
wait.
And accessories.
This was the last bully Naito moment because I was like, he looks so dumb in these sunglasses. Obviously not as apparent as the other bully moments, but I just snuck that in there as like a last little Naito bully moment. So he looks so dumb.
While there are some similarities, I wouldn't go into this game thinking it's just going to be the male version of Girls Band Party. For instance, in order to increase band rank, you must do the quests correlated to each band and switch between them. While in Garupa, you increase band rank.
I also recorded this on my iPad. I downloaded Garupa just on my iPad just so I could record that just one intro conversation because I couldn't download the rest of the game because I didn't have enough storage room on my iPad. Oh yeah, and then also this part. because like I was intending to get this video before the game came out. I was like, I had nothing on like my opinions on the game, but I wanted to say something, but I wasn't gonna record more because I was like, I'm tired, I don't want to do this. So I just wrote out a bunch of stuff about what I thought currently about the game and stuff after about 2 months. So that was the result of all this, of this freaking 5-page paragraph.
Speaking of the rhythm aspect, for
of
those
things.
who may be wondering,
well, but that'll be more at the end, but there was also like the stuff I said there, so.
Well, see for yourself.
Oh yes, all the covers that I recorded with all the initial 3 stars. I somehow had all initial 3 stars. I don't know how, for the vocals anyways, I don't know how I did that, but I was like, thank goodness, because I wanted them all to be the same, like similar in like what the card details look like, and I didn't have everyone's 4 stars obviously, so I was like, this will do. I still love the Howling cover, it's so good. It's probably one of my favorite Gyro covers. And the World cover too. Ooh, so good, so good. Oh, Kiseki, the song is so fun. It's so cute. I love it. This song is so freaking long. I had to slash down the font size so much so I could fit the whole title.
Apart from these, other cover songs have been announced during live streams and some revealed during Souls.
Yes, and then there's all of my comments that I was like, I didn't feel like recording this, but I want to say my thoughts about the current state of what I've experienced in the game and stuff. So I was being a little bit nice at the time because I was like, okay, like there were things that I wasn't, you know, like a big fan of, but I also wanted more people to play the game because so before the game came out, they had like pre-registration goals and stuff, and they reached 400,000 pre-registrations. But when the game started and like the first event happened, there was less than 100,000 players. There was about 60,000 players in the first event. So it made me think, how many like duplicate emails did we use to pre-register for this game? Or how many people like started playing and then saw what was happening and then just immediately dipped? Like, that's what I was wondering. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna give my criticisms on this game, not to like deter people, but just be like, okay, this is what you're gonna expect. But there's a lot of fun things about this game, even though there are some things that, you know, could use some polishing. It is still new, and it'll probably improve as time goes on. So if you want to, you know, check things out, you know, if you're interested in this game, you know, give it a shot. Like, honestly, it's same with the anime. If it's something that you think you'd be interested in, you'll probably like it. If not, then you just don't. That's totally fine. So I was trying to be like kind of realistic about what people should expect from the game, not be like, oh, it's fantastic, it's got no flaws, everything's perfect about it. Because if you go in that with that kind of thought process, and then, you know, you come across all these things that aren't, you know, polished or not what you expected, and you're gonna feel really disappointed and kind of led on. So I was trying to be kind of like more realistic about, like, you know, people's expectations of what they should expect if they go into this game. So that was my whole thought process about this little segment at the end there.
No confirmation for a global release, but seeing as how
Pre-register era was so much fun. Oh my gosh, I love that era. So good.
By the way, if we do get a worldwide release, I propose that we call it W side.
We get a worldwide release. Oh man, I was so hopeful back then. W side is still one of my most clever jokes, and I'll never get to use it again.
Like double A side, but with W, like worldwide. I don't know, I think it works. And with that, we have reached the end of the video.
Thank God.
Finally,
thank God we reached the end of the video. It should not have taken me 2.5 hours to get to a 50-minute video. That is ridiculous.
But with all that said, if you made it all the way here, I just want to say thank you. I've never made this kind of video before.
Oh yeah, I should be like, thank you so much for watching this video.
It means a lot to me. This video has been in the works for about
like 50 minutes of me just talking about this project. I'm sorry,
before I even began writing the script. So to see that it's actually finished is kind of surreal.
I can't believe I spent like over a year on this thing.
I'm proud that I finished it. If I somehow piqued your interest and you decide to dip your toes into the project, That's amazing, and I'm so happy to hear that.
It's been a year since I've put it out, which
that's okay too. I'm just happy you decided to hear me out and give it a chance. Like I said, the Argo Novas project means the world to me. Also, just as like because
I don't think I mentioned it in the video. It's in the description, but I didn't like mention it in the video. Shout out to Zara for doing all of the character portrait art, because I contacted them and I was like, hey, I really like your art style, and they were also like, you know, like a fan of like Argo Pro. That's how we like kind of first met and stuff. And I was like, would you be able to do like some chibis for me for like this video that I'm working on and stuff? And they're like, yeah, sure. So initially I asked for like 12 expressions, and then later on I was like, I think I want more expressions, but could you also send like all the like the expressions like individually, like individual files and stuff, whatever, so I can like kind of change them interchangeably and stuff. So that's bless their souls, they did that without that much hesitation. I was like, thank you so much, I appreciate it. So like that was happening in like, you know, mid 2020 at that point. So I didn't expect it to become more than just, you know, for this video. But then once this video came out, I was like, I want to make more videos. So then I used, you know, these assets again, and then just kept making videos, and then eventually I started streaming, and now I'm using this to stream and stuff, and I'm just really grateful. Thank you, Zara, for this amazing art. It's wonderful, and thank you for the revamp design that you helped me with and stuff. I love the new design. What is it called? Sheet, the design sheet that you created for me, and the new design for myself. I'm just really appreciative of all your hard work, so thank you so much. I don't know if you're here watching this, I don't know if you'll ever see this, but just thank you so much. I really appreciate all of everything that you've helped me do, because, you know, you've, you know, helped create me in a sense, visually anyway, so I really appreciate it. I think I've said that like 7 times already. That's okay.
I can't even begin to express just how important it is to me and how happy it's made me. And there's been so much love put into this project as well. The staff and the seiyus love it to pieces. You can just tell they all want this project to be a success by how much
as many have said, no one loves the project more than the seiyus themselves.
Not to mention that I recently learned there's only 10 people currently staffed on this project.
Oh yeah, this part. Okay, so this was like a pretty big thing when this came out. So there was like a 4Gamer interview that had come out, like, I don't know how recently to when I uploaded the video, but it was like at least within a few months and stuff. So like as the screen cap says here, it was like I asked how many people are working on the Argo project, and they said that including their team, there's about 10 of us working on this project, and then there used to be less people when the project started. And when I saw that, I was like, well, no freaking wonder things are like, you know, not going like super like as fast as like we'd hope they would, and like why they're not getting as much promotion and stuff. Like, there's literally a minuscule team working on this project. Like, what? Like, that's insane that like this group of about 10 people have brought us all this amazing content, and yet they weren't getting more support for them. Like, you can't run a project like long-term sustainably with like only 10 people. That's nuts. So like, I was really upset about this, because I'm like, we should be focusing more on the fact that like yes, it's amazing that like 10 people, like these about 10 people, group of 10 people have like been giving us amazing content, but why haven't they been given more support? Why aren't there more people working on this project? Like, that seemed like a bigger issue. It just made me so mad. And this was like, you know, way before any of like the Argo Pro news, like the separation. That was way before any of this happened. But I had a feeling that something like this was happening, because like, you know, this project was like just, it was still so small, and it wasn't getting any like as much, you know, promotion as it, like, you know, it should have been. And like, it just felt like there was just not enough hands on deck to be able to make more content for it and push it further as a project, because like, it was amazing, it had so much potential, but there was just not enough people being able to like, you know, push it further out into like the world and be like, hey, this is our project, this is amazing, this is what we do and stuff. Like, it just it killed me inside. I was so upset when I found out about this, and I was like just praying that they hired more people, because like especially like in like the later months in 2021, there was like, you know, more continuing like especially with the social media, there was like more like apparent errors that were like happening with like, you know, posts and stuff, especially with like the birthday, like the character like Seiyu's birthday posts and stuff. Like they were getting like names wrong and characters wrong and stuff, and I was just getting so frustrated. And then when the point hit that the cover CDs came out, and then they were like, oh, we have to recall the CDs because there's a cover on Mix that's not the right cover. That's what pushed me to the point of like, okay, this is ridiculous. We can't keep going like this. They need to take this project more seriously. They need to put more people on this project. I was so mad, and I was so upset that this project was suffering because there wasn't enough people to help it be better. And then now I'm a bit more chill about it. I think it's funny that we have a sort of a forbidden cover, forbidden mocha, so to speak. But at the time, it was just so frustrating to see that this project was, you know, not getting the help that it needed. So, like, it was, yeah. So, so there was a lot of things going on at that time. So, anyways,
including the seiyus or the game devs. 10. Major props to them, but oh my god, Bushiroad, have some faith in this project, hire some more people!
I'm done ranting. That was a lie. I'm never done ranting.
I'm sure many of you can relate with your own beloved projects and franchises. If, at the very least, you can share this with someone you think may be interested, that's more than enough for me.
And y'all did. I still can't believe this video has over 4K views. That's nuts.
But that'll do it for now. If you want to find out more for yourself, I highly recommend checking out the official YouTube and Twitter accounts, as well as the unofficial Argonavis English Twitter, Estelle Twitter, and the Argonavis Wiki page. And if you do decide to get into the project, I also recommend looking into the Internavi and Intronavis tags on
hashtag gentle spawn. shameless plug. I also didn't mention that I created the Internavi tag because, again, I didn't want to be like, oh, by the way, I created this tag, now it's kind of a part of the fandom. Like, again, I didn't want to come off as like really braggy, so I was just like, okay, I'm just gonna, you know, put the tag in there because, you know, it's, you know, a lot of people in the fandom, like, you know, use it to share posts and everything, but I'm not gonna say I created it because that feels like, you know, like, by the way, I was like, no, I'll just put it here just so people can like check it out if they want to. So
on Twitter, as you'll be able to find tons of other international
fans.
I
appreciate that. Thank
and
you.
Their songs while you're at it too.
That's really nice of you.
There's an official Argonavis playlist on Spotify with all of their songs. Well, almost all their songs.
I'm still waiting for them to put Ryuseiyu band version on Spotify. I mean, I have it because I have the single, but the fact that like so many people haven't heard like Ryuseiyu band version or I know that just because it's not available on Spotify kills me. It kills me. Makes me so sad. Like, don't let them miss out on these amazing songs. And like, it would be one thing if like if they played like Ryuseiyu like at least the studio versions and then like I know that like in the anime or in like other parts of like the project franchise whatever, but like they haven't done that. They've done them in live shows, but they haven't like done them. They haven't done like the studio versions that are just widely available to like everybody just to listen to whenever. So it's like, why aren't they available worldwide? What are you doing? I don't understand. So maybe I'm still also holding on to just a shred of hope that one day they'll do that. One day, maybe. But yeah. Also, I was on Spotify earlier and I was like listening to Break It Down and I was on like the Argo playlist and I saw that for the AA side CD they had Ray John cover available, but they didn't have Union. And I was like, why is Ray John like the only cover that's available like worldwide? Why are the other covers not available? Especially if it's on the same CD. Why is one cover available and the other one isn't? I didn't understand that. I was very confused.
And hopefully by the time this is out, it'll be my 2-year anniversary since becoming a fan. Man, it's kind of amazing that I've stuck with this project for so long. But then again, I've been a fan of Cardfight Vanguard for almost 8 years at this point, so this is barely scratching the surface.
Oh god. like 9 years at this point. I mean, I haven't been following Carpet Fingers like closely lately.
I think it
but,
really
like,
has the potential and the means to become something
damn.
amazing
It's been
and
so
accomplish
long.
great things, even more than it already has. As a great song once said, I
was like, why not just sing a little bit in like the outro of the video?
Which translates to, this isn't the
Oh
goal.
man, that was a
Not
little
after we've
extra
come so
there.
far. Again, thank you so much for joining me. I cannot wait to
And
see
like
how much
I was
further
like
this
dead
project
set
can
on
go.
having to use Seiyu
And,
instrumental as like the
you know,
outro because that's like what
despite all the
that's
things
what they
going
usually
wrong
did
in the
for like all
world
their other streams. So I
and
was
in my
like,
life,
let me just kind of,
least
you
I had
know,
you bad
join in
boys to
on that because
distract
it's
me.
perfect. And also
Until we meet again. Bye.
fathers until we meet again. And just like the emotional way that like you do Seiyu just kind of fades out. I thought that was perfect. And there we go. That is my first video. Why did that take so long to get through? Why has it almost been 3 hours? I hate this. I hate this. Why is it taking me almost 3 hours to get through a 50-minute video? Anyways. Thank you all so much for joining me for this video. I wish I could talk a little bit more after the fact, but I have to go to bed because I have work in the morning, and if I am up for any longer, my parents are gonna come in my room and be like, go to sleep. Stop being so loud, even though I'm whispering at this point. But anyways, thank you again so much everyone for coming out and joining me for this rewatch of strolling down memory lane, watching my very first video. Take care. If you're going to bed as well, have a good rest. To all my fellow daylight savings time people, I'm sorry we lost an hour, but we'll get through this together. Hydrate, drink lots of water, eat something delicious, treat yourself to something great, and yeah. Until we meet again, which I don't know when that'll be because I don't know when I'm gonna stream this week. Bye. Also, happy early white day. I forgot to mention that. Okay, bye for real.